Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fabulous episode of Sports Nonsense and Whiskey. Tuesday, March 29th, hanging out with the fellas. Pinky, how you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm doing good, my friend.
That's what I like to hear. SP?
Oh, back to usual. It's been a day.
You look like you got some sleep, though.
Did you get a nap?
Kind of.
A little nap?
Kind of.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's days he looks
wanna
normal when we walk in, and there's days it's like, should I go to the store and get you an energy drink?
Like he's like, oh, we're really doing this?
Yeah. It was a weird day. I'll tell you how my day started, all right? Up at like 5 something, and then I had a nap at 11:30. That's kind of like the kind of day I've had.
Good day.
I'm actually, I'm all about those days.
I am not. So just an FYI, all right?
Kids went back to school yesterday, so it was back to the, 6 a.m. get up and get, lunches and coffee going and all of that.
Yeah, I had to wake up a little earlier this morning as well because my parents aren't in town watching the kid anymore. So had to get him over to the babysitters and forgot how much that routine is killer.
Right?
A little
Sounds
bit
brutal.
from time to time. But it works. It works.
I was going to say, I actually got to do something that I don't get to do very often. Got to take my wife out for a date night this weekend. And it was pretty awesome.
What'd you do?
Awesome. We went to dinner.
Okay.
And after dinner, we went and walked around the mall. That was a mistake. I always find myself in the sports store when I walk through the mall. And we walked around. We could kind of check out, Pinky Jr. is a Nuggets fan. He's a Browns fan. Kind of looking at Brown stuff, Nugget stuff. Found him a nice hoodie. Walk around long enough, the wife finally finds a pair of pants that she really liked. It was camo Broncos pants. They're awesome. Real nice material. Feel real nice. You buy them for me, honey? Like, I can't say no. Like, sure, I'll buy them for you.
Sure you can. You're like, the rest of the day is really dependent on this question.
Yeah. Very true.
So the guy rings it up, and we'd had a great conversation with the guys and everything. Rings it up, and I look, and I was like, why in the hell does that say $140?
For the pants?
Well, we've got Caleb a hoodie, too. The hoodie was $60.
$80 for some sweats?
But these pants didn't have tag on them. So there wasn't no telling how much it was like playing like roulette of how much it was going to cost when we got up there. And I was like, it can't cost more than a hoodie. They're pants. $80 pants.
Yeah, sweats aren't cheap anymore.
What?
Sweats are not cheap anymore.
If you're going to pay, if they're Lululemon or whatever, like, yeah, you expect to pay over $100 for a pair of leggings.
I mean, that's still ridiculous, but
It really is. I'm in the wrong business. I can charge $100 for leggings?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's
the right one.
That's my new venture then. That's what I'm going into.
I like it. Let's talk.
All right.
Yeah, when I go to the Nike outlets now, I can't get, some shoes and a t-shirt and some sweats. It's, do I want the shoes or do I want the clothes? Like that, it's definitely at that point now. So, not
So
fun.
I got a little bit of sticker shock. And then she was like, don't worry, honey. I will wear these all the time. And I was like, okay, that's all I needed. And then we went to a movie. We went and saw The Lost City with Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum.
How was that?
I really enjoyed it. Now, again, it's a treasure hunting movie.
Sure.
So I'm in. I do find Channing Tatum attractive and funny. And Brad Pitt is in it. And his character's hilarious.
I like Brad Pitt, man. He's one of my favorites.
I dig it. Sandra Bullock, I swear she looked just like she did in Miss Congeniality.
I'm like, weird.
That was like 15 years ago. Like,
yeah.
There's no way you should be looking the same. Like, she definitely Botox or like the cream that she uses on her face or something is really good because she looked just as young.
Her Jennifer Aniston aged real nicely.
That's another one that does age really nice. So yeah, it was a fun movie. It is romantic comedy, but I thought they did a really good job with it. And with Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum both being kind of fish out of water, like they are not in their element.
How so?
Well, Sandra Bullock's a romance novelist, and Channing Tatum is basically Fabio. He does.
You mean in the movie they're out of their element?
They're out of their
I thought you
element,
meant as actors. I was
No.
No, I'm pretty sure they've both done this kind of genre before.
they've done the comedy, so they can do it. But they were both their characters they're playing they're playing a fish out of water, basically.
Okay.
Where they don't know what's going on, and they've got to battle the jungle and battle, military or whatever. Like, it's crazy. So it's a good fun film if you're looking for something to watch. So definitely Pinky approved.
I'm waiting for Batman to come out on HBO Max
Next month.
Really? Already?
April
Yeah.
19th, I
Wow,
think, if I
okay.
remember correctly.
Dang.
Yeah, that's why my my daughter was asking to go see it, and I was like, it'll be on HBO Max in like 3 weeks, and we can just watch it. It's fine.
You love going to the movies, and you're going to deny your child that opportunity? You're just going to make her wait for it?
That's a long movie, man.
That's cold, son.
Actually, he's got sweatpants still trying to pay for it. Like,
He's financing things
Yeah.
now.
And
yeah.
I got Morbius coming out this weekend. It's like it's hard to find time.
You're actually going to go see that?
I like Jared Leto.
Yeah, I
So,
do
yeah,
too.
I'm gonna give it a shot.
I mean, he doesn't have a very good streak with like superhero movies, though, in my opinion.
Yeah, his
Everything
Joker
I've
wasn't
heard
great,
and read about that movie is just terrible.
Oh. Well,
I'm not expecting a lot. It is a Sony product, so
that could mean anything though these days, because you have like people coming out just hating, and you have people
I mean,
glorifying.
it's true, but
stuff,
usually
so.
I can find something that's like, yeah, this movie's really good. Like, this is why, and I can't find anything like
It's
that
because
about
it's
Morbius.
all critics. So the odds then it might.
No,
actually
I
be a
mean
good
just on like
movie.
message boards, people who've like gotten early previews and stuff.
But those are technically critics. That's why
guess
that's why
that's
they get
fair.
access to it. So, and plus, people want to read hate way more than they want to read something positive.
I
That's
mean,
I
yes.
have my expectations and bar set low.
It just seems like a wait till it comes out on streaming.
I do pay for a service that I get 3 movies a week.
I
So,
keep forgetting about that. Yeah, you kind of have to.
3 a week.
Yeah, at the mall, the
Jeez,
AMC,
that's crazy.
$25 a month. You
Do
get
they
3 a week.
have reclining seats yet? Or are they still old school?
The big theater? Has
Yeah, that's the only
reclining
one,
seats.
right? Yeah. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Listen, if the movie's not good enough to keep you up, you probably shouldn't be watching it. So
That's one of my things that I mean, that's one of the reasons I don't like going to movies is I could never get comfortable in those old theater seats. Just
They were
never.
tough.
And so I'm constantly moving and trying to change position and stuff. It just ruins the
Now, they
experience of
didn't
being
do
able to
the-
focus in on the movie. So
They didn't do the full recline, which I was like, what idiot designed this? Because it literally just does like a little 45-degree angle for your feet.
so the back
actually
doesn't
go-
even like kick back a little bit.
The back kicks back just a little bit.
I'm okay with that. Like, you know,
It'd be nice if I could go just a little bit more.
dude, you can't do too much. You're gonna go right to sleep, dude.
That's been known to happen. Depends on how late I go.
I've seen you in a car, man. It's definitely.
There was extenuating circumstances with that, Aaron. Come on, brother. And I'm a car baby to begin with. So, I mean,
It's true.
the fact that I stayed awake as long as I did is a modern miracle.
Yeah.
Thank you, Monster.
Reaching for those endorsements.
Oh boy.
Hey, if they pay me some money, I'd get that Monster tattoo. No problem.
Oh goodness.
I love them. I love it. It's my favorite.
I don't know about them, but I might be able to get that one dog company from down in Pueblo. Can't guarantee a big check. Man
You mean
paw.
Man Paw,
Man
yeah.
paw. Yeah.
I like me some
Might
Man
be
Paw.
able to secure that. It'll be like a $20 Amazon gift certificate. But
For a tattoo.
yeah.
You advertise for the rest of your life, and here's some
Right.
Amazon bucks.
Yeah.
No, they got to give me some Man Paw.
I think the
That
only
Man
tattoo
Paw's
I do to
expensive.
advertise for somebody is if I get free Nike shit for life.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, that'd be
I get the
nice.
swoosh real quick.
Yeah.
That'd be about the only one.
Couldn't fault you there.
Well,
So
what
that
else?
was me. Anybody else have anything fun?
Put up a swing for my little man under the deck.
Okay.
He's a big fan. Other than that, we went to the zoo
That's
Sunday.
fun.
Went to Cheyenne Mountain. Love that zoo. He got real close to the giraffes, and then we put the lettuce in his hand, and the tongue came at him, and that was over.
Mm-mm.
It's a deal breaker. Huh?
He was cool with just staying there, like he was within a foot, and he reached out and almost touched the nose once. But when that tongue came out, like we tried to hand him another piece of lettuce, and he literally hand pulled back and head went no. So we'll have to coax him along a little bit next time because giraffes are my favorite.
That's pretty common for 1-year-olds.
Yeah. So, but he liked it. The wallabies he was a big fan of because they're just running around wild, you know.
Yeah.
So he was walking. He can walk if he holds your hand now. So we held his hand and he kind of walked through that section. He was staring at the wallabies and pointing, and he did that with a couple other things. He liked the penguins because he was like stood him up on the little ledge and the water level was like right here. So you could kind of see like over and under all at the same time. And they were diving in and going after some sardines or something. So he enjoyed that. But, you know, other than that, I just kind of relaxed and hung out with the family, and mom and dad left on Sunday. So didn't do a whole lot. I guess that is kind of a lot, but
That's a lot, man.
you know.
Yeah, I don't even remember their weekend. I just remember Sunday started off pretty lousy. That's about all I can remember. Had an event where I had to cater. Let's see, it was about almost 900 ounces of coffee, and so the event was at 9:45. So normally I got to get there like by 8. You know what I mean, to start making all of it because it takes a while to make 900 ounces of coffee. Anyways, so bust out my 2 brand new commercial coffee makers, only to find out one of them does not work at all. And the other one, if you want to call it working, sure. And so I'm instead trying to make 900 ounces of coffee with a regular drip coffee and French press, and while dealing with that catastrophic mess. So it was not a good start. I had to be there at 9:45. I got there at 9:46. That's literally how close I had to cut it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was stressful.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. Like the wrong person got in my way that day. I'm going to jail instead. You know what I mean?
Humble coffee.
Yeah.
We get shit done.
Somebody bumped you and spilled the coffee. Like,
Dude, that would've
game
been-
over.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Finish him.
So that was a bit stressful. That's legitimately all I remember from the weekend. 'Cause-
Well, you know, coffee wise, this coffee liqueur you made that I'm still sipping on is just delicious.
hey,
So
good old 1350, man.
you get a chance to sip on some Humble anything, take advantage of it.
Appreciate it.
Humble coffee.
Trying to caffeinate the world, man.
1 cup at a time.
True.
Apparently 1 ounce at a time.
Yeah.
Long ounce at a time. Yes.
He just starts handing out wristbands and people are ducking under the drip system, just opening their mouths.
Yeah. Just freebasing coffee grounds right off the
Yeah.
table. Yeah. There we go. I'll take it. Whatever keeps them coming back. You know what
He's
I
got
mean?
some bumps lined up on the table.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have any liquid coffee right now, but there's some grounds over there you can go sniff on for a little bit.
Right. I'll be like, go cut that with a punch card. You know what I mean? Just that's how we roll.
Oh, man.
Solid.
But that's
Solid.
about all I had for the weekend, though. There was some fun things that happened during the weekend.
Do tell.
Namely with maybe a couple celebrities.
Oh, yeah. We're going to, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We can roll into that
Yeah,
nonsense if you want to.
He's leading us in.
Go for it. But yes, as people I'm sure are aware now, the a little incident that occurred with Chris Rock, Will Smith. What is your take on that?
So I've gone back and forth. Honestly, watching it live, I just happened to be flipping back and forth the Oscars and other things. And I happened to flip back right when that happened. And then right when he slapped him, the feed went like dead almost. And it took a while to come back. And I was like, what is he yelling right now? Like, is everybody laughing? I can't tell. And then after it finally cut back in, I was like, oh yeah, no, people are not laughing at that. So that was legit. It still looks set up to me. It still looks like it was part of what they had planned and it didn't go the way they had planned it to go.
What would have been the lead-in though? Well, okay, so here's the thing. Here's kind of my issue that I have with anybody thinking that it was staged.
I don't think it is. I said it just looks that like there's
It
just
gives
the
off
way
that
it
feeling.
happened. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, right? You have to look at this situation that this occurred obviously at an event on live TV. And it's like, listen, if that was in a bar, probably would have went a little differently. You know what I mean? Like the way Chris Rock responded, but pretty much like he kind of snapped into it and is like, immediately went back. Oh yeah, I'm doing a live show right now.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
one handled it like an adult and the other one didn't.
right.
Also, I think it's a joke that Will Smith was laughing and then looked over at his wife who wasn't and then decided to stand up and do something.
Yeah.
I have zero respect for Jada Pinkett Smith at this point in
Oh,
time.
absolutely.
I lost a lot of respect for Will for the way he handled it. And then, Hollywood held par and did exactly what I expected them to do and gave him a standing ovation afterwards. So
yeah,
I think it was a joke. just Hollywood's a joke, complete joke.
But you want to know what? That's exactly why Will Smith probably felt comfortable doing that. You know what I mean? Because that was the extent of it. That and I feel bad for Chris Rock.
Here's where I'm the most upset. Is I think that was a snapshot of society right now.
Oh, for sure.
And comics can't be comics any longer.
Yep.
Because somebody's going to get offended and they're going to feel they have a right to do something about it, which is, look, as far as I'm concerned, this whole like, you said something mean to me and now we have issue. Like, dude, there was a thing I learned when I was like 4 years old. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Like, yo, more people need to start recognizing that that's how it is. Because this whole like, you said something to me and now I'm mad. Like, get over yourselves.
I mean, that's just how, unfortunately, people react these days. Just most people can't take a joke. I left going, and I didn't catch it live. I didn't even know the Oscars were happening. And then all of a sudden, I was on Twitter for a second, and that was just blowing up.
Yeah, if you didn't send me that tweet, I would not have known the Oscars were on either.
Right.
So
when I looked at it, I was just like, wait. And I listened to a couple people. Rich Eisen talked about it. Shannon
Everybody
Sharp
talked about it.
Sure.
Everybody.
Rich Eisen was talking about how bad of a joke it was. And I was like, my mother-in-law's got alopecia. She lost all her hair. Did she like losing all of her hair? No. It happened. Did she laugh about it? Yeah. Like, it's just
honestly not that offensive of a joke. It just wasn't a great joke.
Yeah, it wasn't like, I can understand slapping him because it's a bad joke, right? Like, poor joke. Like,
a bad joke would have been him going up there and talking crap about the other dude she's banging. Like, that'd have been a bad joke. Her entanglement and there's her side piece and all
now,
that.
my wife said
That's a bad
apparently
joke.
she's heard that they have an open relationship.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then that shouldn't even be on the table to discuss. Because he's allowing that situation to be part of his marriage. So get that off the
which
table.
I don't think he's handling well.
Obviously.
Because I think that's what I took away from it. Is there's something else going on?
Yeah,
to cause
she
him.
wears the pants in the relationship. Because if you can look at your spouse and he goes, I gotta go handle my business now.
I think the problem is she wears other guys' pants in the relationship too. So
ching.
Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. But yeah, well, that's why it was like a trending like hashtag cuck today. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. A little bit.
That's embarrassing, man.
Yeah, it just wasn't I didn't think it was funny. Not because it was a poor taste joke.
Yeah.
I just didn't think it was a funny. G.I. Jane too. Like whatever.
It was pretty low hanging fruit.
Demi Moore was a badass in G.I. Jane. That's a compliment. Like,
that's true too.
Well, that's the other problem with the joke is everybody takes it as in poor taste, and really, if you think about it, he's doing her a favor.
One, he's getting her work. Two, he's literally saying you're a badass because she's in shape.
So
she has a shaved head. Like, she could play that role.
Yeah, just
I didn't see it overly funny. But.
Jim Carrey, if you guys get a chance, Jim Carrey did an interview on Good Morning America or one of those Good Morning shows, CBS or
Sure.
I don't know which one. I have for a long while now thought Jim Carrey has lost his goddamn mind. And I have found a whole new level of respect for him after watching this interview. He was very eloquent. He was very thoughtful. And he was very truthful. And it's totally changed my perspective on Jim Carrey all over again. So if you get a chance, I can't remember which Good Morning. I can't remember if it's Good Morning America or Good Morning.
If
whatever.
You just type in Jim Carrey, I'm sure we can find
Jim
it.
Carrey, Good Morning, like something like that. You're going to find it. And it was a really good interview, actually. Really good interview. So, and I think he said everything that really everybody's thinking. He just said it in a very eloquent, thoughtful way. So if you get a chance, check that out.
Look into that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I was just the double standard, about all these things, man, is the most irritating part about it too, right? Like I don't know, man. This is just so irritating in so many different ways. Like what had taken place, because one, I mean, for them to sit there and say, "Oh yeah, you can, combat a bad joke with violence," for them to try to justify that, because there were a pretty good amount of people on Twitter that came out and were in support of Will Smith.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is absurd.
But you want to know what the problem is if people started reacting to violence to the things that they were saying, right? That'd be a different story.
Well, what's funny and this is really fun on Twitter. Somebody had found the video of him on the Arsenio Hall show.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And
too.
He's making fun of a guy who had alopecia and lost all his hair.
Oh, really?
He is straight making fun of the guy.
And then
to
he-
his face. He's like,
At the end of it, he just looks at the audience and goes, "It's a joke."
That's Will Smith?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Go check that. I forgot about that one, Pinky. I saw
Yeah.
that too. Yeah, go look that one up too.
The internet doesn't forget.
The
Yeah.
double standard is
Karma, man.
So
Karma's
again,
full circle.
I just felt like there's something else going on at home.
oh, there absolutely
Oh,
is
yeah.
That caused
underlying.
him to react that way.
Dude. Well,
Because
when you're Will Smith and you're not good enough for your wife, like that's got to be a blow. You know what
Well,
I mean?
it's the thing floating around is the reason it's an open relationship is because he's not good in bed. Seriously, that's what I kept reading is he can't satisfy her the way she needs to sexually, which is why there's these other issues.
Well, based on that slap, he has no idea how to clap cheeks. So,
Whew.
yeah, that was more of a giveaway than anything.
Oh, man. That's good.
It did feel
That's
forced
good.
though, and that's why I think it felt fake. I don't
if-
think it was fake, but it felt forced
When I
because
watched
even
the
him saying
replay-
"keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth,"
Yeah.
just the way he uttered that 3 times in a row, just
Getting louder.
yeah. And Chris Rock's like, "All right, man,"
Yeah.
like he was kind of like, "Easy there, big guy."
Maybe Will Smith pulled it a bit.
Well-
You know what I mean? He didn't give the full blow, but he needed to make it look good for the wife.
Again,
That kind of who knows?
Chris Rock stands there. If you watch his body expression, he's standing there. His face is out. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't move. I feel like if somebody's comes up,
Well, right-
charging at you, and then
Okay.
starts. To
If you
swing,
see the
you're gonna-
slow mo though, his face goes.
Yeah. Let's read.
You know what I mean? He scrunches and kind of moves down a little bit.
Different perspective on that. Do you think in the middle of an award show somebody's coming up to slap you in the face?
No, most
What-
likely what he thought was he's going to come up here and like arm around him or something and be like, "Hey,
See, and
Easy.
I look at it from a different perspective. I looked at it as Chris Rock was like, "Oh, I'm in trouble," and like almost he moved into it like he thought he was going to whisper something in his ear.
right, exact,"
And instead, he caught 5 fingers. You know
That's
what I mean?
exactly how I felt too.
Barely caught 5 fingers, but
Yeah.
you know,
I heard somebody say Will was a bitch for not just hitting him. And I was like, "Well, you're not a real man because you don't understand this at all apparently because a slap is more degrading
So
than a punch."
That was Shannon Sharp's perspective. He's like, there are 3 things that you don't do in our culture. You don't call someone the N-word, you don't spit on them,
Yep.
and you don't slap them.
Yeah, slapping
like-
is more
He's
downgrading.
like, if you listen to a lot of our stuff, we'll say you got slapped the shit out of, like,
yeah,
and that's really demeaning.
right.
Somebody comes up and punches you, yeah, we're gonna fight, but we're not disrespectful.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think about it. Like that was my first thought. Like, oh, he was really trying to demean him because what did you do back in the day if you wanted to do a duel?
Yeah.
You didn't punch somebody and say, "Let's go shoot each other." You took your glove off and slapped him in the face. Like you tried to humiliate the person. That's what a slap is.
Yeah.
Like you are so below me, I'm going to open my fist and hit
Shannon
you.
Sharp was like, if Will Smith did that to me, I would have beat his ass.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest. There's people that could have done that joke. Like he's not doing that to Terry Crews.
Oh no.
Terry Crews says that joke. Will Smith is not walking up there.
right. Yeah. I like the meme going around now where they said that they should have Mike Tyson host the
Yes. I saw that too.
Yeah.
Here's my other thought. It would have been amazing to see Chris Rock slap him back because Will's head would have disappeared. Have you ever seen Chris Rock's hands?
Mm-mm.
Dude, ginormous. His hands are ginormous. He's got these crazy long fingers. Like he's probably got an 11-inch hand span. You know, if he went to the combine, probably 11 inches easy.
Is that the guy that they model him off of? You know, the big sports
Yeah,
figures?
yeah. Like Chris Rock has huge hands by all accounts that I've
You know,
seen.
He's got to swing up though, so he might need the reach. You know what I mean?
Hey, I was just thinking about like all the things that went through my head instantly when I'm watching this.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah. Trust
So,
me.
yeah.
Nobody thinks they're gonna get slapped in the face on live TV.
nope, no
by
way.
somebody who's supposed to be going up there to receive an Oscar. I don't think that's the first thing that crosses your mind as you're being approached.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
And then the total and utter bewilderment on his face after it happened. Like,
Yeah.
guess I'm still supposed to present an award here.
I did love that moment.
Yeah.
I love that moment when Chris Rock was like, I could keep joking on you right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And he was
Yeah.
just like, you know what? No.
Yeah, yeah. He could have at least earned the next one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because
for sure.
that first one didn't deserve it.
That's the other one that was on Twitter. If he'd done that to Dave Chappelle, we'd still be in that third hour of unsolicited jokes.
Oh yeah, Dave would not have stopped. That would have
Yeah.
been game on.
Yeah, that would have been the end of the show.
There's a picture I saw of right after Chris Rock presents that they went to a commercial break, and there's Jada's publicist right behind her whispering in his ear or her ear, and there's Will Smith's publicist right behind him whispering in his ear. I would love to know what those two separate conversations, because it's not like they were all huddling together.
Yeah.
You know, they're very separate situations going on. And then Jada comes out today with some stupid Instagram post that all it said was like, the world needs love or something like that. Like that's all she said about the whole situation.
You know, it would have been hilarious if she threw him out of the bus. And that's exactly why I can't be with that man. You know, it's got a temper.
Poor Will.
Yeah, the poor guy, man. He's so whipped. And what was the other thing I was gonna say? Oh well, it's gone now.
Well, my final thought on this is I feel bad for everybody else whose big night it was finally.
Oh, right.
Because it will never be talked about.
I mean, nobody.
Your night was ruined. Now, you probably still kind of gone and partied and forgotten about it. No big deal. But in that moment, that atmosphere completely changed. Like when Amy Poehler came out and she's like, I was back in makeup getting ready for my next set. I come out. Did something happen?
Yeah. She's like, who died?
What the mood just seems different since the last time I was out here. Like, well played, Amy. Well played.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt bad for everybody else that won their awards that night because completely overshadowed by this. And then Will's acceptance speech was just a joke.
Yeah. I'm like, dude,
I'm a vessel for love. God has a plan for me and I want to spread love. Like,
listen,
but keep my wife's name out your mouth.
I know he had it scripted, right? But boy, sometimes you got to pull an audible. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I would have went with that original speech. I would have. I think I'm going to drop something on the fly here.
Time to pivot.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. And I thought the other thing that was hilarious is like what Denzel told him. I'm like, boy, that would have been good 10 minutes like ago. That would have been great advice.
Yeah, Denzel, where was that advice?
Great.
10 minutes before.
Yeah.
Well, Denzel probably told him before the slap, like, remember, King Kong ain't got nothing.
He's like, that's not what I meant, Will. Like, just
be the bigger man.
But yeah,
I am the police.
Poor Chris Rock. Let's start a GoFundMe for him.
He's going on tour with Kevin Hart. He'll be all right.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Imagine what that tour is going to be like.
If Will Smith tried that with Kevin Hart, he would have missed because
I don't think Kevin Hart would allow that to go down.
I'm pretty sure Kevin Hart would have retaliated.
It was a joke, man. He would have.
No, I know. I totally understand where you're going. I just, after you said it, I'm thinking like Chris Rock might have been the only dude
that could get away with it.
That he could have gotten away with it on because he's an adult.
If only that was Joe Rogan, dude. He would have sidekicked him back in the seat.
We could probably name at least like 10 people that he doesn't make it back to his seat. Like he turns his back and they're like, that person's flying after
He
him.
really picked his victim.
Yeah.
He got lucky with that.
Other thing, final thought. Sorry. Remember Ricky Gervais a couple years, what was it, People's Choice or something? Was it the Oscars? It was dude, he roasted all of Hollywood.
Yep.
Like he went in on everybody.
My favorite part of that, and he's like, hey, when you get your award, just say thanks and sit the hell down.
Yeah.
We don't need to hear you talking all this hypocrisy and bullshit.
Yeah.
Like he just goes into it and I'm like, yes.
Yep.
Love me some Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
But yeah, imagine him doing that joke.
Did you see Ricky Gervais's tweet?
No.
Yesterday? So he sends out a tweet of a clip from The Office.
I did see. Oh yeah.
And he literally is like, they're at the bar and he's like, yeah, she's got alopecia. So, not a good home life.
Yes.
Cold.
See, at least if it was Ricky, it would have been a good joke. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
I mean, that's the thing though, is it was just a bad joke, unfortunately, from Chris Rock. Now, what would make it a good joke though, is if he just thought of that on the fly. Like if he had something else and then he just came out and saw Jada and Will sitting there in the front row and he's like, G.I. Jane 2, baby.
Right.
Then I would say it's a good joke because it's like, in the moment, you're just going to point out the obvious and that's what comedians do. I'm okay with it then. Otherwise, I expect more from you, Chris Rock.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why on a blue stage, it would have been a much better joke. Yeah. All right. So what do we got going on in the sports world? Because I think that's the majority of the nonsense out there.
You tell us, Coach.
Looks like some Final Four talk.
Yeah.
Anybody have any
baby.
brackets still worth anything?
No.
Nobody does.
No? Okay.
Nobody in
No.
the world
Just
does.
checking. Yeah.
There are some people that picked all 4 Final Four teams, amazingly enough, but even their
Wow.
brackets aren't great
Hmm.
leading up to it. So
The one bracket challenge I'm in, and Caleb's in, the winner is Gary's wife. Not even Gary.
she hasn't won yet.
She's I mean, if KU wins, she won't win. If Duke wins, she's gonna win.
Well, Duke's not going to win because North Carolina is going to beat them Saturday. I am amazed Kansas made it this far. I really am. Did not see that coming.
Neither did I.
They got depth. I did say going into it that they do have some depth, so that's been very helpful for them on this run. But did not see Kansas getting this far. Duke's playing really well. Not a surprise that they're there. People think it's a surprise North Carolina's there because they were an 8 seed. But if anybody watched the second half of the college season, they beat Duke twice. They're rolling. They're like 23-9 since January or something like Carolina getting an 8 seed was a joke. And then the final team, why am I drawing a blank on the
Villanova?
That's right. Thank you. Villanova. And I told you going in, they're kind of a sleepy underdog because they're not really good this year like they have been in the past, but they're a good team. So, I mean, when it comes down to it, you're pretty much always going to get blue bloods in the Final Four. That's what we got this year. I would love to see Villanova beat Kansas, but they just lost one of their starters, tore his Achilles, I believe, or his ACL. Now I'm drawing a blank. Tore something. So he's out.
So look, I didn't think Kansas would make it past the second round. So I'm just enjoying us playing on house money. So
I think they make the final now, and I've got North Carolina. I think they've got Duke's number. I think they are playing insanely well right now. Caleb Love is the tourney MVP right now. That dude is playing out of his mind. 27 in the second half. Not against St. Pete's. Why am I drawing blanks all of a sudden? Give me 2 seconds here.
gosh, Caleb,
Let me pull up a bracket.
You're better than this.
I am. This is ridiculous. I'm drawing straight blanks right now.
Yeah, you did great when there was how many teams? Now it's down to 4.
I know.
And
I
you're
can't remember anything.
I don't remember who they played 2 weeks ago.
All he's thinking about is the money he lost.
Against UCLA.
Okay.
He hung 27 in the second half. He had 3 points in the first half. They were down by, I think, 5 or 6 at halftime. He came out, hung 27 in the second half, and Carolina just rolled.
Now, just so you know, Aaron, since you don't really watch, that's 20 minutes of basketball. He put up 27.
2 20-minute halves in college, which is really stupid because the women play quarters. The men still play 2 halves. It's stupid as hell.
Yeah, why is that?
No idea. Nobody knows,
No.
but they're not changing it.
No petitions out there?
There have been.
No.
There've been, but the NCAA is the most crooked organization there is in the entire world. So
they try not
good
to
luck
make
getting
too many
something
waves.
changed.
Gotcha.
So the Final Four. I look, Carolina beats Duke. It's going to be crazy. A lot of people have Duke, and I can't argue with that because Duke's playing really great basketball right now. But so is Carolina, and I just really like what Carolina can offer comparatively against Duke. And then I don't. After Villanova's starter went down, he's their number 1 defender. They're going to have to bring. I heard a stat the other day. It was like something like 89% of their bench minutes is going to come from the guy that's going to be subbing in for him in the starting lineup. So Villanova is basically going to have no bench now. And Kansas rolls 7, 8
They are
deep
pretty
easy.
deep.
So
And they've been getting clutch shots from Remy Martin.
yeah, he's been playing really well too. So I just don't see how Villanova can beat Kansas. If they do, I would consider that a really big upset at this point.
I have no expectations. I'm just enjoying the moment. Kansas breaks my heart so many times, so I'm trying to stay even keeled.
I mean, it's been said it from the beginning. Parity is going hard this tournament. I talked about that a couple weeks back before the tourney started, and it has lived up to that a lot more so than most years in the past. So I think it was really fun tournament up to this point. It definitely lived up to its name of March Madness in more ways than one. Didn't have any last second shots this year, which is the first time I can remember that didn't happen in a long while.
It's been more a domination, that type of thing.
Not really domination,
no,
just really good games, overtime games, close games down towards the end of the game, back and forth games.
There was one buzzer beater, but it was like before the half. Like it wasn't for the
Yeah,
game.
no, that's not a last second shot to me. I don't count anything that's
It beat
not
the
the end
buzzer
of the
before the
game.
half, but there wasn't one that actually
like when
won the
Sports
game.
Center puts a top 10 highlight of some guy hitting a half court shot as the buzzer goes off, and then I see it's the end of the first quarter, I automatically disregard it. Like that means nothing to me.
Fair.
So, but just I can't say enough good things about the tourney. I can't. So Final Four Saturday, and then championship game next Monday.
Oh man, Final Four, and then we got WrestleMania Saturday night too.
Oh yeah. Oh, WrestleMania is going down Saturday.
Saturday and Sunday.
We doing anything for that?
I think maybe I can get an invite, right?
To my
If
house?
you want to come over to my place?
I'll have to talk. I mean, if it's just you and me, I don't see it being much of an issue.
Little man can play with us. We're cool.
Yeah. That shouldn't. We could probably figure something out there. Probably figure
I don't
something.
have any plans for it, but I don't know why, but now that it's free on Peacock, I'm like, yeah, I want to watch wrestling. Sure. It's pageantry.
Hey man, I've said it for a very long time. From the moment I realized, or I was told, however it went down when I was like, 10 or 11, that it's not real. And then I was kind of explained how, and you watch and you see. I was like, cool, don't care. It's just a male soap opera.
I just
like I'm in.
There's a difference between not real and scripted. All right, just saying.
That's true.
People get really hurt in that.
Oh,
to say it's
absolutely.
not real.
When I say not real, I mean like
they've scripted.
There, yeah, I mean, there's an extent to which it's not like
they're working together.
Yeah.
when somebody's
I'm
throwing
gonna
a
throw you
punch,
real
they're
quick.
not really trying to knock the guy out punch style.
Yeah.
But they are still getting hit.
Dude,
they are still jumping off of 15-foot ladders onto a table with people.
You are watching stuntmen live.
Oh yeah,
And
exactly.
That's phenomenal.
I agree. There's a level of athleticism and
not to mention trust.
Well, yeah. I mean, that guy's got to be on his spot. And I mean, I saw some things recently just watching Monday Night Raw where I was like, I think that dude just broke his neck. Like, I'm not quite sure how he tucked enough to not be, oh, he's back up. Wow. Did not think that was going to happen. I thought he was down.
Yeah, it's happened. Yeah.
So yeah, there is definitely a level of athleticism and showmanship and many other things that go into it. So when I say not real, obviously there's a level to that, but like you said, scripted, not real, there's differences within there, but I mean, they're still really doing things. I mean, they're still slapping a dude's chest. Yeah, that's going to be against a tool of a dude, Fury, McMahon's little puppet.
Isn't Logan Paul
Austin
as
Theory,
well?
you mean?
Logan Paul is with the Miz.
Is he supposed to be at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Is he wrestling or ring man?
No, he's him and the Miz are fighting Mysterio and Mysterio Jr.
Okay.
But I don't know if you guys watched Monday Night Raw at all or anything, but Logan Paul has looked like an absolute joke. Like, I think they are regretting bringing him in because his presence and his persona have not
carried over.
Yeah, they haven't played well within that spotlight at all.
Yeah, I don't really know what they expected. Like, he's kind of been this single-dimensional individual for the last 10 years. So
I think they thought that with the Miz. So I don't know if you guys know this or remember this. I can't remember his real name, but the Miz was on like the first couple seasons of Real World.
Yeah.
That's how he got famous. And the Miz was his drunk persona that he brought out when he was wasted, and he would talk about wanting to be a wrestler and all this stuff. That dude is brilliant because he somehow was managed to take his real world fame and become one of the most famous pro wrestlers in the world.
And has his own reality TV show with his wrestling wife.
Yep. And he's won a championship. He's been WWE champion before. And so dude's done real well for himself. And actually, by all accounts, like, he plays the heel most of the time.
Yeah.
But outside of the ring and stuff, everything I've read and heard is he's a real cool dude.
I think I saw him on the Rich Eisen show. And I want to say Rich Eisen was on vacation. He had Ryan Leaf in or whatever.
Oh.
I like when Ryan Leaf's on there. He does a good job.
Lock up your medicine cabinet.
He's good. He's good. He's rehabilitated. But he's the Miz was like down to earth guy talking sports, and I can't remember what team he really loves. But when I hear like famous people talk about sports, and then you can tell like this person actually really knows their team, right? Like Joe Manganiello, he loves the Steelers. When he talks about the Steelers, like you can tell he knows the Steelers.
Wasn't he on True Blood?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I don't do vampires, so
No.
I watched the first season of that, and I was like, I'm out.
Oh, it was absolutely stupid.
It wasn't good.
Yeah, it's like
I don't do zombies and I don't do vampires.
It was like an R-rated like
Zombie Land though.
Zombie Land, I did do. That movie is amazing.
It was like an R-rated soap opera. Is basically what True Blood is.
True Blood, yeah. In Louisiana.
Oh.
Now I will say, wife made me watch Twilight series, so I
sorry.
have seen all that. But it makes me have even more respect for Robert Pattinson now, because that dude was able to do that, and it tells you how good of an actor he really was. Because
that wasn't acting. When he went to set, he was depressed.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like what he did to do that and somehow get through it says a lot about the character of that man. Because seeing what he's done since then.
Do you want to know what he did? Is when he checked every week and looked at that direct deposit, and he's like, "This is why I'm doing it."
No, I think it was more I'm dating this chick, and this is what I have to do to, happy wife, happy life kind of thing, happy girlfriend, happy life. Him and Kristen Stewart were dating that whole time, or majority of the time, until she cheated on him with the director of her movie or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, they were together that whole time.
Yeah.
So he was more like, I'm going to try to keep this relationship good.
She's not my type.
No, I don't find her that attractive.
Hey, everybody's got their own, deal.
She reminds me of that rebound that you like really regretted. You know what I mean? Afterward, like that one mistake.
I mean, everybody has that one relationship where they dated somebody who's incredibly self-loathing, right?
Sure.
That was her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
if she's not a self-loathing person, she just puts that, some people have resting bitch face.
Yeah.
She's got resting self-loathing face.
Yeah. Right.
I do not like resting bitch face at all. Not a fan. What else we got, Aaron?
So we have finished up. Well, actually, no, we didn't get into the NBA and NHL yet. And I don't even know what to lead in with you on that, because I don't know anything about that.
Let's pause that for a second.
Okay.
Let me talk about soccer for a moment, because it's not going to be a long conversation with you two.
With the World Cup? Yeah, it's going to be pretty short.
Yeah. So I'll just give some highlights.
Just tell us what happened.
USMNT is almost guaranteed a spot in the World Cup after their huge win against Panama this weekend. Now, what is great about the Panama win? So I think it was last Wednesday, they tied Mexico in Azteca Stadium, which is huge, because that's a very hard place to play. And the fact that they were able to come out with a tie and get some points out of it was big. That was big. Then they went into the weekend and they smoked Panama 5-0. Ended up being 5-1, but really it was 5-0. They were in Panama's head from the jump. Panama was trying to take guys out and get in their heads, and it did not work. 2 PKs right off the bat. Captain America, Christian Pulisic knocked him in. Game went wide open from there. The thing that's so great about that win is they took care of business the way they were supposed to, which hasn't happened a lot in the last recent memory with USMNT. So the fact that they came out and smoked a team that they should have smoked said a lot about where they're at right now. Now they play, I want to say, I am drawing blanks all over the place. I believe Costa Rica next.
He wants to talk soccer.
Don't expect us to bail you out.
I know. I'm not asking you to. I'm trying to. I believe it's Costa Rica, and they have to lose like 7-0, and then I can't remember who it is now. I'm drawing so many blanks. I apologize, people. But if somebody else scores a couple goals and the U.S. loses 7-0, then they would be out of the World Cup. So there is a scenario in which they could still not make it, but it's very slim to none. And the way they're playing right now, without 2 of their best players in Claudia Reyna and Weston McKennie, both being out right now, the way they're playing says some really good things about where this team's at. I actually think they're going to come out and win this next game and secure their spot in the 2022 World Cup. Friday, the teams that will be in the World Cup will be announced.
When is
Friday.
the World Cup?
July
This year.
this year. It's this year in Qatar.
Awesome.
Not awesome that it's in Qatar, but
Qatar?
Qatar.
Yeah, I like Qatar.
I don't even know which of you are correct right now, so I can't even.
I used to say
educate you.
Qatar, and I've been since corrected. So I believe it's Qatar.
Qatar.
Google fact checking it.
Yeah,
We're
please
about,
do.
we're about to find out.
But I'm excited for the World Cup. Let's watch a game. Let's have some fun.
Oh, I'll be watching all of them. So anytime US plays, if we want to get together, we can try to figure something out because I love, well, we know already, but I love the World Cup.
I like the World Cup because I drink and watch.
Yeah, please do. So I'm really excited.
Ole, 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 ole.
Yeah, it's Qatar. It's kind of a mix between both of you.
A lot of people call it Qatar, but it's Qatar.
So I believe the Qatar came from when they actually announced it. That's how the locals say it. So people started catching on to that.
I know that's how the military folks all call it. They all call it Qatar.
Qatar,
But
huh.
it's Qatar.
Because I believe that's how the locals, but it's QUATAR, right?
No, it's QA.
QATAR.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I mean, if
either
you
way,
wanna
everybody
pronounce it with
knows.
a Q, that's fine. But it
Everybody knows what you're talking about, one way or
doesn't
the
have a
other.
C on there.
I mean, let's be honest. Most countries in the world pronounce their country name now based on the way the United States says it because we're just, so amazing.
Listen, you said Qatar, and I thought somebody was depressed, man. I was like,
He's like, Pinky, are you cutting again?
I'm like, we need to get him some help, man. Like, what are you doing?
But yeah, 2022 World Cup this
Okay.
year. Next World Cup here in the States. 2026. It will be technically it's a joint operation between Canada,
Denver
United
will
States, and Mexico.
Denver will have a couple of matches.
If the US doesn't play in Denver, I'll actually be amazed because
They play a lot of international games.
the
in Denver.
home field, they like the altitude. They like playing in the altitude, especially in cold weather here when they have international friendlies and stuff. But Denver's going to be a host city. I can almost guarantee it. So the likelihood of us being able to get tickets are slim to none, but I am going to do my absolute best to try.
I mean, that's what, 2026?
Yeah. Tickets will probably go on sale 2025, somewhere in there, probably.
You can make it work.
Well, the problem is that is the hardest ticket in all of sports to get. That's how crazy it is. So we'll see. But side note, I actually have seen the USMNT play in Old Mile High. Went to a game. We sat like 2 rows from the field.
Pre-Empower Field?
Yeah, Old Mile High.
Old Mile High, before they moved it over to where McNichols was.
Yeah, before they just tore down a building in a parking lot and just moved it 100 yards to the south. But yeah, saw a game there with some family friends and I do remember that. So that was really cool. But I'm stoked for this because I would have been excited for it even if the US didn't make it in. A little less excited. But with the way they're playing right now and some of the stars they have and young guns, they have a legit chance to make it to the round of 16, which is huge.
2 of my best friends are huge soccer fans. My friend Sonny.
Sonny and I grew up playing together, actually.
Sonny's a huge soccer fan.
Sonny and I are AYSO OGs.
She really gets into it. And then my friend Courtney is huge into soccer. She plays in like 4 or 5 leagues. Which is hilarious. But
I was playing in 3 until COVID hit over at Soccer House.
That's where she plays.
Yeah. I wonder if I played with her or against her.
You may have. She's got curly hair, a little short Irish girl.
Did she play in the over 30 league?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Then yeah, I probably played with or against her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was playing in a couple different teams, subbing for a couple different other ones, and then COVID hit, and I haven't been back since. I met her there
while she was playing, and we had drinks after. And I was just watching going, I kind of feel like I could play this. I felt like I could. Thanks, Caleb.
Like everyone can for like a minute. You know?
Yeah, that's the kicker. Like that's why I say no, Pinky. Like,
give me about 3 and then sub.
I don't know if you'd make 3, kid. And if you did, you're probably not coming back in.
Well, I'm playing on the defense. I'm not going to play offense. That's not my game.
No, that's the thing though. Is there's no such thing in indoor soccer as offense or defense. You run the whole. Look, dude. It took me. I thought I was in decent shape. Let me back up. I thought I was not enough of a couch potato where I could get into it and be fine and things would come back. My skills came back a lot quicker than I thought they would, which was nice. Touch on the ball and things of that nature after not playing for 15 years. It took me about a month for that to happen. So you're talking playing a couple different on a couple different teams. I would say about 8 to 9 games. Okay. Within the first month. It took me 3.5 months before I felt like I could actually stay on the field and be a contributor without feeling like I had to stop after every sprint before I had my legs under me again. Like I knew it was going to be bad, and I forgot how intense indoor soccer is. Like it's a whole nother animal. I could have gone outdoor and been fine because outdoor, you're basically taking a break after every time you touch the ball. A lot of walking in outdoor soccer. Indoor is a constant go. It's more than basketball. Way more than basketball. I was playing pickup games with Zach and some guys around the same time. I didn't really get winded once playing basketball. I came home after multiple soccer games, and my wife literally asked if more than one occasion if we needed to get me to the hospital because I couldn't catch my breath after 2 hours after the game. I was like still coughing up a lung. So different beast.
Yeah. I know of a girl that ripped her finger off at an indoor soccer. Like she was going and she got checked and she went to go brace against the fence.
Oh.
Yeah. It stuck her finger right in as she was getting shoved. The finger stood there. And,
that's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's not cool, bro.
And that's the extent of what I can contribute to this conversation.
Whew. That's a good place to stop that conversation.
Yeah, time to move on.
Well,
So any soccer people know I'm your guy. Hit me up. Be more than happy to discuss it.
All two of you.
Speaking of, shout out to my cousin-in-law.
I don't know if that counts.
He's married to my cousin.
I think you're just a
big
cousin.
soccer guy.
Period.
He took a team, his high school team last year, to the state finals. Team had never even made the playoffs. Moved up a division this year. He's doing big things out in Omaha, Nebraska. So shout out to Dean if you're listening tonight. Keep up the good work, sir.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Dean, keep it up.
Now onto some basketball. Do you have anything to say about hockey? Sorry, Cody. I did not get on my research like I had
it's
planned
almost
on.
over. Avs are playing the other
Calgary
top team.
Flames.
Calgary Flames. They're the other top team in the West right
no
now.
Nathan McKinnon. He
McKinnon's
is
out.
This is one thing I hate about hockey. They will say he's injured. They do not have to disclose what the injury is.
Upper body or something.
Nope, don't even have to do that. That's usually what they do. They'll say upper body or lower body, and that'll be the extent. This time with McKinnon, they just said out, undefined injury, undefined period of time. And that's cool in hockey. You're allowed to do that.
Yeah. I
hate it.
Well, sure. I don't know why you think you're entitled to more information.
I don't. I just
Yeah, you do.
it's with I don't. I'm actually good with, like, you want to call it a HIPAA law, however you want to describe it. I don't care. Like, guy's injured, he's out, fine. But every other sport will actually tell you exactly what the injury is. And so it's frustrating when hockey is just like, he's out. He'll be back in the lineup when you see him skate out there. It's like, dude, seriously? Like, okay, I guess that's what we're doing.
It keeps folks from headhunting them, you know.
I think that's why it's not a big gambling sport. Bookies don't like that for sure.
It's getting there. There's more hockey on the betting platforms now than there used to be.
Yeah, I don't know anything about hockey either. So
a lot of fun to play. I played everything growing up, so
yeah.
I didn't play ice hockey. That was too expensive for my family. My family couldn't afford ice hockey, so we got rollerblades and we went out on the street.
I got into a pair of skates one time.
That's pretty much how my story went.
And it was my buddy, and he was like, "Come on, you're my wingman. These girls want to go ice skate at the World Arena. Let's go." I was like, "I'm a big fat guy. Like, we're not supposed to be on skates. It's hard enough when you're like, you know, just for me walking is hard enough. Then you put me on some skates.
I mean, if you don't have a whole lot of balance to begin with, it's
And
not going to be easy.
I have no balance. It was not good.
I grew up skiing. I grew up rollerblading. I grew up ice skating. Like, it was all the same to me.
I sprained my ankle like in the first 5 minutes. It was just a horrible experience.
Wow.
I was given a sobriety check perfectly sober. That's how bad my balance is. No joke. This is a legit true story. Yeah.
Was it racially profiling you first?
I don't know. I would have felt better about that, but yeah. Like, seriously, he put me through the little test and he was like, all right, you're definitely blowing into this. I'm like, dude, I just got bad balance.
Did you tell him you have an inner ear thing?
Yeah,
That works sometimes.
I don't know. I let my my body language do the talking. You know what I mean? And apparently it tried to sell me out. Because the dude's like, oh, no, you're definitely done.
It failed me miserably.
I'm like, dude, I ain't drunk. I ain't
My
drunk.
nonverbal does not say what I expect it to.
Right, yeah. It was not pleasant. I was like, dang, am I going to jail? I'm not even drunk.
Oh, man. So
that lightened my heart.
We'll talk,
Thank you, SP.
I mean, the Avs are up there in hockey, so it's an exciting time for Colorado fans. We can't watch them, but we see it on Bleacher Report. We'll get a little bit more into it when the playoffs are here. I think once the playoffs are set,
playoffs roll, Cody, we will definitely talk about hockey when the playoffs are set for sure.
Talk a little playoff hockey, and I definitely want to get together and watch some playoff hockey.
I certainly can't make that promise to you, Cody, but hopefully they're good for it.
I will guarantee you when playoffs start, I will talk hockey, Cody. I will guarantee that for you, buddy.
Cody's one of our top fans. We got to get it in just for Cody.
Well, I would have talked about it even without. I mean, playoffs. I feel the need to talk about anything that's in the playoffs. So, but regular season hockey is hard to follow when I've got everything else going on right now, and I can't even watch my home team. So it makes it a little harder to get into.
That's what I think makes it harder to get really fanatic about it. The Nuggets, the Avs, without being able to watch them, it's just hard to be a complete fanatic, in my opinion.
I mean, I wouldn't disagree with that.
I mean, that makes sense. Like
I'm checking Bleacher Report every day to see the scores.
That's so
asinine.
Yeah.
That's all I can do.
Can't even watch the games being in the state. You know what I mean? That's just
well. What's even crazier is the reason you can't watch the teams is because the owner of the teams owns the network and didn't like the rights deal that he gave himself. Like that's a whole other level of absurdity. So, thanks, Cronky.
Yeah. If you want to watch them, Evoca TV, pay that $30 and you can watch them both.
I've had a lot of people tell me that if I was a true fan, I'd do that. And I said, no, if you were a true fan, you would not do that and force the owner's hand.
If you're not already paying for everything else, Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, whatever else we're paying for these days, then I'd be like, yeah, throw $30 down for Evoca. That's not bad to see your teams play. But I can't justify that cost with everything else I'm already paying for.
I wouldn't do it anyways. I can't justify the cost when they're supposed to be on what I'm already paying for.
See, I'm not paying for that, so they're not. I don't have cable.
It's so bad that Comcast has finally removed that channel altogether from their lineup.
Like we're not.
Like
even,
they're like
we're
not even worrying about trying to get.
We're not
going
to tease you that
like,
we're going to get it back.
That channel is gone. And then the other day I looked. It's a completely new channel. Like the channel number's the same. It's just a completely different network. Comcast was like, we'll just fill that out. Boom, done. Come on in.
That works.
So as far as the NBA goes, there was a straw poll done here recently of NBA media, and Jokic has finally taken over within the media the MVP lead. Why it took so long, I'm still not sure. I said from the jump when James Harden got traded to Philly, it would ruin Embiid's chances. That appears to be the case now. Jokic went off for another triple-double last night in the win. They are a game and a half out of fourth place right now. He has 19 triple-doubles this season, which is more than half the league has as a team. Dude's playing out of his mind and carrying a team that has no business being in the playoffs without him, which is just absurd. I will say, in my opinion, Embiid isn't even in the top 3 of MVP votes right now. Doncic should be 2. because he's got the Mavs
He's
in the
getting
top
no-
4,
he's
and
getting
he's
no
getting no
love.
love, which is
No.
mind-blowing to
No
me.
love.
Because he's averaging like 38 and 8. So how he's not in the conversation is mind-boggling.
He
to
wasn't
me.
even on that straw poll.
Nope. No, he was not. Giannis would be 3 right now. He's putting up like 28, 8 and 8. So that's where it should be. Embiid should not be in the conversation anymore, as far as I'm concerned. Really good player, but he's not doing things like these other 3 guys are that elevate his team to another level. Embiid's had all his guys this year. And people are going to be like, well, Ben Simmons wasn't playing. Ben Simmons didn't play from the jump, and he wasn't even part of the team from the jump.
And they're still the 1 seed.
Philly? No.
Are they the 1 seed?
No.
Oh, Milwaukee?
No.
No?
Miami's the 1 seed. Celtics are 2. Celtics are like 23 and 9 since like January 10th.
I saw the Celtics firsthand.
Tatum and Jaylen Brown are legit threats now. It used to be they kind of traded off nights. Who's hot? It's my night. It's your night. Now they're doing it together every night. They got some nice pieces in Williams. Horford's a veteran playing well. They got some guys coming off the bench who are really well guard play. Celtics are dangerous and legit because they're also one of the best defensive teams in the league. And that's a lot of credit to their rookie head coach. So when I'm going to draw a blank. Brad Stevens went from the bench to the front office, confused a lot of people. The guy he decided to step up and hire as the coach and bring in as a rookie, a lot of people said he's going to have a bright future. Wasn't sure if he's quite ready yet. The way the season started for the Celtics did not look good. Looked like there was a lot of mistakes made. Looks like everybody has now bought in, and they are rolling since the All-Star break. Rolling. They were first until last night. So
they were
Miami 1,
lights out.
Celtics 2, I believe Bucks 3. Pull it up real fast here. We'll just run down through it real fast here, shall we? So Miami 1, Bucks 2, Boston 3, Philly is 4, Chicago 5, Toronto 6. I'll come back to why Toronto being 6 is a big deal here in just a second. Cleveland 7, Brooklyn 8, Charlotte 9, Atlanta 10. That's pretty much set. Nobody's really going to jump into any of those spots now in the East, most likely. This is why Toronto being 6 is so interesting. Kyrie's back. The New York mandate has been lifted.
Yep.
Finally. Played his first home game this week. Lost.
It's only for the Yankees. That's what it's
for. Probably. But he's back. And Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving on their own can win games. Couple catches about that, though. Brooklyn is one of the worst defensive teams in the league. So when you go into the playoffs and people start locking you down a little bit and they actually care about playing both sides of the ball, that could be a huge detriment for them. The other real detriment is there's a legit chance here that they could possibly play Toronto in the first round. The second round of the play-in tournament, depending on how this falls right now. With Toronto being 6, they're in. But if they fall to 7, they could have to play Brooklyn on those play-in games. Kyrie can't play in Toronto. Toronto's still locked down. So if that goes down that way,
I didn't even think about that.
That would be a big kick in the nuts because he wouldn't play in the play-in game. They could get knocked out, and then their season's done. I like Milwaukee right now to come out of the East. Boston's my dark horse. Miami, I don't see them doing a whole lot of noise in the playoffs. Decent team. They're deep. They've got some pieces, but they look a little dysfunctional since the All-Star break. Kind of go back and forth, hot, cold. Milwaukee should still be the favorite, and I don't know why more people aren't talking. They're the defending champs.
Yeah.
And they've got the same team. Like
they look good.
They've just been kind of coasting through the regular season as far as what I've been seeing. So I think they've got another level that they can kick on once the playoffs start.
They play in the East. They don't have to kick it in until playoff time.
No, exactly. So I actually like Boston, Milwaukee to be in the finals. It just may not run that way because they'll probably see each other in the semifinals, based on the standings the way they are right now. Out in the West, Phoenix is just rolling. Phoenix is the best team in the league right now. If they don't make the finals again, I would be amazed. If they don't win right now, I'd actually kind of be surprised. They're just playing that good as a team. And when you've got Devin Booker, who's just a scorer, you got Chris Paul, who's probably the best point guard in the league right now still, just the way he elevates the guys around him. Ayton's still a beast. They got Bridges, they got Payne, they got pieces, and they're playing together. They have definitely gelled and they're rolling. Memphis is the 2 seed. Memphis could make some noise, but they're young. They're unplayoff tested. It's hard to say what they're going to look like, but Ja Morant's a beast. And they have arguably my second favorite player in the league in Steven Adams. You don't know who Steven Adams is, go look it up. And the videos you're going to find are going to have you fall in love with the dude instantly. 6'10 Kiwi. 6'11 Kiwi. Dude's a beast. Golden State.
He's from New Zealand, by the way, for those who don't know what a Kiwi is.
Oh, okay. I was a little confused here. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Thanks for stepping in,
I
Pinky.
saw that confusion. Like, why is he calling him a Kiwi? That's kind of a,
New Zealander. Yeah. Golden State is hit or miss. They've got some injuries. I don't think they can gel enough.
Wiseman's gone.
Wiseman's not
Curry,
playing. He hasn't played all
Curry's
year.
out.
He's not going to come back. Curry's hurt right now. Doesn't look great. Klay still hasn't really found his footing. Unfortunately, I don't know if he'll ever get back to Klay Thompson. But the dude tore his ACL and his Achilles, like sat for 2 years. Wasn't on an NBA court for 2 years.
Just make some time to find that shot again, man.
Even then, though, that's a lot of time to miss to come back to Klay Thompson level.
It
You
may
know what I
never
mean?
be superstar again.
Like I said, Dallas is the 4 seed. They're playing really well, but they're really just Luka. So if somebody can find a way to frustrate him in a 7-game series,
Luka, man.
they could be in trouble. Denver's sitting at the 6 seed right now, but like I said, they're a game and a half out of the 4 seed. Utah's in between Dallas and Denver. Utah they were the next up and coming a couple years ago. They haven't lived up to the hype. Mitchell's a nice piece. He hasn't quite lived up to that superstar status. Gobert is a liability on offense. Arguably the best defensive player in the league, though. They just don't have the pieces. Minnesota 7, LA 8, New Orleans 9, San Antonio 10. The big story is the Lakers are out of the playoffs right now.
Love it.
And it doesn't look like they're going to find their way in, especially if LeBron James' ankle is as messed up as it is after the other night. They're out.
Did he roll it walking out of a game or
on his way to the shower?
Yeah.
You know, as much as I would love to say yes to that, he's been balling. And the only reason they even have a remote chance of being in the playoffs is because he's
actually had one of his best years statistically.
He's right now first or second in points per game, has a chance of winning the scoring title. This year has basically been all about single player personal accolades for him, passing Karl Malone, trying to catch Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. He's the only player in history in the top 10 in points, rebounds, assists. I mean, I've said it before. I'll say it again. LeBron James is an all-time great. But when people talk about the GOAT, he's not in that conversation for me. And I can give you lists and stats and reasons why. I'm not going to go into that right now. He is an all-time great, though. And the fact that he's carrying the team that he is right now to even have a chance to be in the playoffs is kind of crazy. But I think they're going to miss. I think San Antonio will keep that 10 seed. I think the Lakers are out. And I don't see them being a whole lot better next year. I think Anthony Davis was a terrible trade. I said that from the jump. But if you got a championship out of it, which they did, it's worth it, right? You know me and championships. You go all in for one. You take 5 years, 6 years off. Go all in for another one. I'm good with that model. But Lakers fans are not. And I don't know how they're going to feel about that.
That's because they're a little spoiled.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
They're like the Yankees. Like, they're used to winning championships. So if they don't do it for a little while, they like, wait, what's going on? We're supposed to win every year.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely how it works, right?
So I think I could see Phoenix and Memphis in the Western Conference Finals, and I would venture to guess Memphis gets smoked. But we'll see. What are you smiling about over there?
Andy is being a dick.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that guy. Love you, Andy. That just made his night. He knows.
Good for him.
He knows.
That's what
We
he
love
does.
Andy.
What else we got? What else
But
we got
yeah,
there,
that's
Coach?
about all I got for basketball.
Let's see here. We got Rooney rule updates. This will be education for all of us.
I mean, I read as much as I could. I mean, it looks like now on the offensive side, you're required to have some form of minority coach.
You want me to break it down as best as I understood it?
Give me.
oh,
and
can I get a job now? at The NFL?
You could.
Possibly.
Sweet.
So this is, as best I understand it, from everything I've read and heard and tried to formulate this, as simplistically as I can put it, the way I understand is you are now required to have an assistant coach that is a minority or a woman with a direct line to the head coach, in the thought that they can eventually move into being a QB coach. That's why they want it on the offensive side of the ball. So you can eventually try to move into the QB coach position, because that's where a lot of head coach funnels from these days. So they feel like if they can create that pipeline, minorities and women will have a better chance at that head coaching position. Now, this is why I hate it so much.
I don't really feel like you have to go into a big explanation, but go ahead.
It's pretty simple for me. I feel like to be a head coach or an offensive or defensive coordinator, you don't have ever had to have played the game. Because I look at football as one big chess match. And as long as you understand what your pieces do and how to move them around, you don't have to play or have ever played to do so.
Sure.
However, when you're a position coach, I feel like you should have played that position in order to properly coach that position, because without any personal hands-on experience, you will never quite understand what you're coaching. So the fact that they're trying to pipeline it to the QB coach, thank you, Pinky. That's why I hate this addition, is because I feel like you're going to put people in positions who never played the position, and that can be a huge detriment to the player you're trying to coach. That's just my take.
I like how that's the only thing you really hate about it, because my problem was the whole other side.
Oh, I'm not even going to touch that.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
not even. They kept the Rooney rule, so I'm just going to ignore that whole aspect.
Gotcha.
The fact that they kept the Rooney rule and didn't completely obliterate it and try to start over.
It sounds like they're trying to make every team as equally as bad. So,
I mean, again, we've talked about this before plenty of times, SP. You force somebody to do something, bad results are always going to come from it.
yeah, of course.
So they're still trying to force people to do something. So again, I'm going to ignore that. I'm not going to have that conversation right now. I'm just going to try to keep it strictly based on the idea that they created at just that surface level.
The NFL is trying to do everything they can to bring minorities into the game, which is a good thing. But it's like you don't have to force it. Like, there's so many qualified candidates. You don't need to require people to do it. It's crazy. I've never been a big fan of it, but it is what it is.
You know what I don't understand? Yeah, I was double checking. So of course I want current numbers, right? 71% of the NFL currently are minorities.
Players. You're talking players, right?
Yeah. Period, though, right?
Any and all employees, 71%?
No. I mean, just 71% of players in the NFL.
Right.
Here's my point: is like, who cares? Like, obviously, people who play the game, right, and who retire, are more than likely going to go into the game. So that, in a way, it's its own self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Because you already have the percentages saying who the people you're more than likely going to hire down the road are anyways. So I don't understand why you even force the fact to begin with. So that inherently does not make any sense to me, period. I mean, the number's already there. And then here's the other thing too. Players get paid more than the coaches. So like, why do you even care in that sense? Like, what's the deal with that? I don't comprehend the objective. Period.
32 head coaching jobs. This is what it all boils down to. 32 head coaching jobs. There's only 2 minority coaches right now, right? 3. Tomlin, Lovie Smith,
Saleh.
Tomlin. Oh, I forgot about Saleh in the Jets, and then Ron Rivera with Washington. Right? That's the only 4.
Wait, who's the? Say it again.
Lovie Smith down in Houston.
Yeah.
Tomlin at Pittsburgh. Rivera over in Carolina, and Saleh with the Jets. Is there another one that I'm missing?
Lynn, Joseph, and Wilkes.
They're not head coaches.
They're not head coaches. They
head
used
coaches
to be.
only. Okay,
used
gotcha.
to be.
So it's 4 out of 32. You're knocking 25%, right?
No.
32 divided by 4 is 8. Oh, so it's half of that.
Yeah.
15%.
Yeah.
12%, however you want to look at it.
Sure.
No.
Right.
So I was doing it backwards.
Now
My
again,
bad.
it was a little bit higher a couple years ago because you had Wilkes, you had Vance Joseph, you
Is
had
McDaniel head coach in Miami?
Mike McDaniel's considered. Yeah,
He's not a white guy?
he's not full.
You get to pick.
Right.
Oh.
It's an application, dude. You just
He
check the
looks
box
like
you want.
it, but
Right.
he's not.
He's got
not
the-
complete. Yeah.
the Mexican-American blood, right?
Sure.
I don't know. He was a Broncos ball boy, so I like that guy.
I guess you want to call it 5 then?
Sure. Okay, 5. All right.
We get credit. The Dolphins get a draft pick for hiring him.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess the NFL's counting it.
If you hire a minority as head coach, GM, and I think there's one other position, you get a draft
Like
pick.
again,
for it.
that's wrong on so many levels.
That it sounds actually so wrong. I don't even believe you're telling me the truth.
I'm telling you the truth, man.
If you hire a minority, you get an extra draft pick.
Yeah.
Nothing devalues a minority more than saying, I'm going to incentivize you.
Do we need to put you on camera to incentivize our show more?
Dude,
It might help. Actually, what would help is if we put a Cowboys jersey on him and we talk more Cowboys. That would probably help.
it's just disgusting, man.
It is.
It
It's
is-
wrong. Like I said, that's why I was trying to stay surface level with the reason I didn't like this new rule edition. But there's so many deeper issues that rely that are part of this that it's mind-boggling to me.
Like, it's odd how they think being racist gets rid of racism. You know what I mean? I just don't understand that. And it's so undermining. All you're doing is you're causing people to have hate for other cultures that they didn't have before. But you want to know what? They're definitely doing what they can to brew it up. And that's the part that kind of pisses me off. You know, it's like they're creating animosity. And it seems like very thoroughly thought out creating animosity. And I think it's absolutely stupid. So
No, Andy, I didn't. Get out of here. Thought with a name like McDaniels, he was just, a white dude.
What's next, Coach?
oh boy, let's see. I guess there were some overtime rules changes.
So, if you didn't know, as a busy entrepreneur, as
NFL
you are,
failing again.
the NFL league meeting
Uh-huh.
is going on in a beautiful hotel down in Florida, in Palm Beach, I believe.
Okay.
Beautiful hotel. The owners go, the coaches go. Most of the coaches, some coaches did not, like Mike McCarthy, but a lot of the coaches go. They have media
Probably because the other
sessions.
coaches said, dude, you're not really a coach. Just stay home.
You're a dead man walking.
Did they-
Dead man walking.
Did they invite Kellen Moore at least?
So they do, they do a breakfast. They do a lot of media stuff. They do voting on a lot of the rule changes.
Oh, it's like the NFL's Bilderberg meeting.
Sure.
Okay.
And
I'm with you.
You educated us on that a couple weeks ago. Yeah, exactly.
so they will vote on some of the rule changes, and I think Indianapolis and Atlanta had put in the overtime rule change.
Thought it was Philly and Atlanta.
Maybe Philly. I know it was a bird team. And
Bird
in
So many.
they basically, they want both teams to get possession of the football.
Uh-huh.
And so they wanted to change the overtime rule, and it did pass today.
Each
for the
team gets a
playoff.
possession. So it doesn't matter if you kick a field goal on your first possession, the other team still gets, if you score a touchdown, doesn't matter.
But they
The other
still
team
get the
still
ball
gets.
anyways if you kick a field goal.
Wait,
Right, I know. I'm just saying you can
Current
do
rule.
either one.
wait. So when does it end? If they do score a
After
touchdown?
that, it becomes sudden death again.
Yeah.
Like they didn't actually change the rule. Like
They
that's
did.
what makes me so
Well,
mad.
did.
Yeah, I mean,
They
yeah,
absolutely
because
did.
if they go down and they score their first drive, at least they have an opportunity to go tie the game up.
Correct.
Or score 2 and win.
Nobody's doing that.
No, I mean, if they go 4 and out, then they lose, right?
Right. I'm just
Right.
saying if the
Yeah.
other team scores a touchdown, kicks the extra point, you could go score a touchdown and go for 2 and win.
You could do that.
You don't have to
That's-
give the team a chance to get the ball.
That's
You could
pretty
also miss
ballsy.
the extra point and lose.
You could.
So yeah,
It's better, but it's only better by like 1%.
and this is only in playoffs, though, right?
Only in play. That's the
Only in
other
playoffs.
stupid thing.
If it goes well, which again, you're not guaranteed to have an overtime game in the playoffs to begin with.
Sure.
It doesn't happen that regularly normally. This year, We had quite a few, but
Yeah.
normally you get one maybe. I like it. I still remember the days when it was sudden death and it didn't matter if it was just a field goal.
Right.
The coin toss shouldn't decide a game.
The outcome of the game, correct.
And that's pretty much based on the stats. That's what overtime was. The coin flip decided the game. But when you only incrementally barely make it better, you're not really doing anything.
So how do they make it better than what they did, Caleb?
Honestly, I think what would be better, plain and simple, give the teams the ball at the 25, you get 4 downs. No first downs. Give them the ball at the 25, you get 4 downs to go score. And you go back and forth until somebody does something the other one doesn't. You still have sudden death involved. So why are you even keeping time? If you're going to allow each team to have a possession and then it's sudden death after that, there's no reason for a clock. If there's no reason for a clock, then I don't really feel you did anything to make it that much better. That's my thought on it.
Well, I mean, you need the clock because they could still run out of time before scoring.
But not in the playoffs. You would just keep playing.
Yeah, we just go to.
If it was tied, you would just keep playing.
There has to be a winner.
Well,
of the game.
yeah, but you can't just pick and choose when you want to run a clock. You know what I mean? So,
But my point is the rules justify you don't need a clock.
well, I mean, but then
Correct. You technically would not need a clock with these new rule changes. You're right. Because if the first team goes down and scores, second team gets the ball, they go score a touchdown, and then the next it's sudden death.
They need the clock to keep track. It's
Of what?
It's all statistics and metrics. That's all it is. It's analytics. Right?
I think
second, third overtime, fourth
You're
overtime.
right. They don't need a clock at that point.
I think when you make a rule that
But-
kind of goes against all the other rules you had up until that point,
But here's the other thing, though. That there are rules based off of that foundation of having a clock, like for example, reviews and things of that nature, right? So you can't just pull something out because then that will impact.
there's not
other
though.
things.
Don't coaches they automatically get a review once overtime starts? Each
No.
coach gets another review.
No, they get 2 timeouts. They don't get a review.
Yeah,
I thought they got a review.
and it's everything is reviewed by the
The booth.
upstairs.
So
right?
then again,
Oh.
why do you need the clock?
well, yeah, in that situation, then
They don't need the clock. You're right. I agree with you on that. They don't need the clock. I do like the rule change though.
It's better than what it was. Don't get me wrong. I
Yeah.
just don't feel like it was enough of a change.
Hey, it's still the good old boys club. It takes a while to make those kind of changes, man. And the only reason why they're making this change is because they've had at least 2 situations that people remember: the Chiefs, Patriots, AFC Championship, and then the AFC Championship.
Look, if I had
this
my way,
year.
honestly, 15 minutes and you play until somebody
So-
wins. If it's tied after 15 minutes, you're playing another 15 minutes. That's how I would personally make it
When
happen.
they talk about
I think it's a
injuries
joke that
and-
the NFL is like, the reason we don't do that is player safety.
there's some merit.
Like,
to
that's
that.
a joke. No, that's a joke.
Dude, if you play 120 snaps, that's a lot on your body, bro.
I don't care. You could play 120 snaps in a regular game without overtime.
You typically don't. It's typically 60 to 70.
Just saying, man. I think
why don't they just have a coin flip and whoever wins and just go home? So, there you go. There's one for player safety. Oh, by the way,
I hate ties. Nothing angers me more in sports than a tie.
I don't like ties.
The fact that they're still going to allow it in the regular season and they're changing just the postseason, I think is also a joke. But I know I'm in the minority when it comes to a lot of this overtime stuff. So whatever.
do minorities get like an extra point or something like that too?
If you have a minority kicker,
Oh,
they get an extra 10 yards in.
oh, nice. Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I say if you're not a minority, you don't get 4 downs. You only get 3. You know what I mean?
Hey, if this rule was in place previously, possibly the Patriots don't win that Super Bowl against the Falcons. Possibly.
It's true.
Possibly the Bills beat the Chiefs.
They do.
I hate what ifs. And if your rules keep allowing what ifs to be going on,
Which is why this is a good update, because now the coin toss does not decide the fate of the game.
I guess I'm a little old school. I'm like, don't let them score 40 points then. You know what I mean?
In today's NFL, with your defense on the field a lot,
But-
I mean, nobody was stopping either one of those offenses. It didn't
I
matter.
mean, that's true. But there could only be one winner.
I
so.
think if the Bills had gotten another possession, they end up winning that game only because their defense was playing way
they win
better
the
than
coin-
Kansas
well,
City.
no,
If
if
they
the
win the
coin
coin
flip goes to
toss,
Buffalo,
Yeah, they win.
they win.
But
Yeah.
again, let's go back even farther. Don't play a prevent defense. Don't kick the ball off to them. Squib it. Like, A lot of coaching mistakes were made in
They
that
made some
situation to
more-
lead
they-
up to
they
that
made some mistakes
situation.
Right.
before they got to overtime.
And that was kind of
so-
my point, is that there's typically ways to win a game before it gets to that situation. And,
But that's there's a reason soccer went away from the golden goal. Like that was overtime in soccer for a very long time was a golden goal. First one to score wins. And if it didn't happen, PKs would come into play. Now they play a timed overtime.
wait, would they just go back and forth? Each getting attempts, like tries? Or
Well,
what?
no, they played a legit period of time, and if somebody scored, it was sudden death. And if it was tied after that, then you do PKs.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So
talking
you
about.
just
Is
there's a
that the
goalie, there's a spot 10 yards out, and they just try to score.
back and forth?
Back and forth. You start with 5. If it's still tied after 5, then you keep adding people until the tie is broken.
Oh,
So you could go through your entire lineup
Huh.
with soccer if it's still tied after that.
that sounds tiring.
But that's why I think if you're not going to just play the quarter and force something to happen, then that's why I feel like then going each team gets it at the 25, you get 4 down. No first downs, you get 4 downs to score from the 25. Whether you get a touchdown or a field goal, that's what I would rather see than what they've implemented.
Man,
I don't
you'd
like
see
the college
way
rules.
more turnovers that way.
I just don't like the college rules.
Be a lot more interesting.
I mean, yeah, probably. So, a couple of things. One, Andrew said, "Don't worry about it because the Broncos are never going to have to worry about this situation."
That's right, because Russell's going to win in 4 quarters.
That's
instead of
right.
overtime.
You tell him, Pinky. And then the next thing is Cody's asking, so hockey, should they be like hockey and play a full period?
Yeah, Cody, I actually like the way hockey has changed it.
Is that for
They
the playoffs?
they removed in overtime for hockey.
In the
You removed
playoffs?
no overtime. You were regular season and playoffs. Cody,
As soon as
correct me if
somebody
I'm
scores
wrong,
a
but I'm
goal,
pretty
it's
sure.
done. As soon as they score a goal in hockey in overtime, the game is over.
In regular season.
Right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, in playoffs though,
That's
they
what I was
go
asking.
they go from 5 guys on the ice to 3. So
Yes.
it picks up the pace of play. It forces people to go on the offense rather than try to sit back and play defense. Now, if you're tied after a full period of hockey overtime, then they go to
If
shootout.
Cody says you're
Correct.
wrong, it's sudden death in playoffs.
No,
There's not many guys I'm going to question in
It's-
hockey, and Cody's not
it's
one.
sudden death in the sense that if somebody scores, it's over. But if it's still tied after that overtime period, they go to PKs.
Correct. That's true.
They still have a time period though. It's not just first one to score wins. There's still a timed period, and if
No.
nobody scores,
No. If someone scores, game's over.
you're not listening. There is a timed period of overtime in hockey.
There,
If
there
nobody
is,
scores,
but none of that matters if someone scores.
right? But that's where did I say that it didn't? It's a
It's-
sudden death overtime in the sense that there's a golden goal rule. Somebody scores, the game is over. But it's not like football where somebody didn't get a chance to have a possession. You play an
Hockey's a different
actual
kind of game, though.
but it's
Yeah.
you play the same way. You just remove 2 guys off the ice, so it forces the pace of play. So hockey doesn't change any of their rules or anything.
Cody says that's only during the regular season. That's not in the playoffs.
Let's get on the same page. So,
Cody, are you sure they don't do the 3-on-3 in playoffs?
They do not.
It's 5-on-5 in
do-
playoffs.
Yes, that is correct. I just looked it up now. So each teams are at full strength, 5 skaters, bar no penalties, no shootouts.
Because I
and
don't
each
remember seeing
overtime
that.
is
and
20 minutes.
Most of the time, I don't watch a lot of regular season hockey. I really only
It's
watch,
a newer rule within the last few years that hockey implemented that.
I only usually watch hockey in the playoffs. So
I
Yeah.
thought that was part of playoffs too.
Nope, 5
So
on
that's
5,
just regular season.
full
then.
20 minutes.
Hmm.
Yep. Yeah, regular season is the 3-on-3.
So hockey's even better. My bad, Cody. Hockey's even better
Is that what
because they allow
that's what they should do. They should make it 4-on-4. Drop down to the. you
they
get-
allow an
you get one
actual
lineman.
shit.
that's
Go
it.
7-on-7 in football. Then
That'd be fun. Give some people a break.
do the 7-on-7 and let them roll. You already are moving everything towards the offense anyways.
I think it's a good rule.
They should adopt other things.
Moving
from
on.
Hockey, like instead of getting thrown out of a game, they just put you in a little box. You know what I mean? That'd be great. Let them fight, and then just
Let that happen in football.
yeah.
Add a penalty box.
Yeah,
that
there
would
you
be
go.
interesting.
So the next thing we got up, of course, and we kind of brushed on them a little bit, but that would be the Buffalo Bills' new stadium.
$1.4 billion stadium going up in Orchard Park, New York.
Oh, so it's probably like 4,000 square feet
It's pretty big.
being in New
Dude,
York.
it's in Buffalo, not Manhattan.
They're
Oh.
put the word is
6,000?
Yo, Giants and Jets don't even play in New York.
Yeah.
Their stadium's in Jersey.
This is
Yeah.
upstate New York, though.
Well, they belong in Jersey, though.
Just saying.
Prove you're an actual team,
There is-
and then you'll get a big
The
boy
only
stadium.
actual sports teams in New York,
Uh-huh.
Brooklyn Nets, New York Knicks, New York Yankees, New York Mets.
See,
And,
that's
and Buffalo
that's
is in New York.
But no, I'm talking about New York City.
Oh, yeah.
that's an exclusive, That's
But Buffalo
high
doesn't call
caliber.
themselves New York. They call themselves Buffalo. New York Jets, New York Giants are not in New York. Their practice facilities aren't even in New York.
Nobody wants them there. Like,
Yeah, East Russell. I know the Giants go in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
makes sense. Anyways, so are you not happy about this new stadium?
No, I hate it
Oh, well,
because
It is-
$850 million of
yeah.
it is tax-paying dollars.
It's primarily being funded by taxpayers.
they don't have a lot of high-paying taxpayers there anymore, anyways. So that's a really big issue.
I
I don't know how they're going to get that.
I hate that taxpayers subsidize billionaire assets. Hate it.
Well,
Absolutely hate it. Go finance your own deal if you want a new stadium as an owner. And this whole holding it over the city's heads, like, well, if you don't give us the taxpayer dollars, we're just going to move the team. Well, guess what? If all cities said we're not subsidizing stadiums, where are the owners going to move their teams to?
Well, yeah, I mean, it definitely doesn't allow necessarily for an open market in that sense, but I am kind of with you in regards to that, though. Is like these things shouldn't be getting subsidized unless there was a very clear benefit going to the individuals that were subsidizing it.
Do the taxpayers get a write-off like the owners do?
Right, that would be my point. That if they actually looked at it and they said, "Hey, X amount of your tax dollars contributed to this, therefore your taxable income is dropping by X amount," then I'd be like, I don't care. You know what I mean? That's almost kind of like sitting there saying is no different than if you were just throwing it off to a nonprofit organization. Like if it's tax deductible, I'd be all about it. But if it's just an underlying tax that you're getting hit with, and the only benefits you're seeing is if other people utilize it,
And I've heard people go, well, it helps with the economy. It provides jobs. It's pennies on the dollar that you're actually getting taxed. I don't care about any of that because the financial impact of that is not enough for me to say taxpayers should be paying for a private business's building.
yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think that should be the case.
So yeah, I absolutely hate it.
Like,
hate it.
because I assume that nobody got to vote on that, right?
As far as I've
Factual.
read, everything I could find. Now, I will say Denver got a vote on the new Broncos stadium, and they voted for the taxes to increase to pay for the stadium. Everything I've read with this New York stadium for Buffalo, I haven't read anything that said there was a vote for it. The state just gave them $850 million taxpayer dollars to help build the new stadium to keep Buffalo in Buffalo, based on everything I've read. Now, take it a step further. All of a sudden today, I hear some news coming out that KC wants a new stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Arrowhead's going to be gone because they heard, shit, New York's getting $850 million for Buffalo. We may as well get some money. Now, here's the kicker about Kansas City, though. By all accounts, from everything I have been able to find, it would move across the river. Which means, I don't know if it's actually a
It'd be
river.
in
That's
Kansas.
just, yeah. So instead of Kansas City, Missouri, it would be in Kansas City, Kansas. So,
I mean, to be fair, that's probably where it should be anyways.
but figure that out. So where are the tax dollars going to come from then?
well, yeah, obviously then it would be from those county lines. and-
From Kansas then?
yeah,
Not Missouri.
it would have to be. Yeah. I mean, they shouldn't even be allowed to do that, to be honest. I mean, that's a huge
The
issue.
city is split down the middle. Half the city's in Missouri, half the city's in Kansas. So they can still be Kansas City,
Yeah.
but
Well, I mean, the vote should just be all in regards to wherever the lines they're on then, the property lines. That's whose vote should matter.
This is a pretty hot topic. The Broncos' current president is he's down at the league meetings, And he said the new owner, that's their first priority of either put the money into updating the Broncos stadium or build a new one.
I mean, the new owner, if he was smart, he'd go out east. He'd buy up a bunch of land and he'd build a complex like the Rams did.
Yeah, you've got shopping, you've got hotels, you've got restaurants, you've got everything right there. I mean, heck, they even built NFL studios to have NFL Network right there on the.
As much as I hate
campus.
Kroenke as the owner of my favorite sports teams here in Denver, he's a brilliant businessman. The way he set up that LA situation.
Yeah, and he's got the Chargers leasing their space. Like
that has nothing to do with Kroenke. That has everything to do with how terrible the Chargers ownership is.
That has a lot to do actually with that state as well. Yeah, I would be all about that for them to move and actually set up a nice compound. I'd be way more interested to go into games in that case because downtown Denver sucks.
Oh,
absolutely sucks.
Wrong.
This is even open to debate, dude.
Yeah, it is. As far as downtown experiences go, Denver's arguably the best in the country. Everything is right downtown. You can walk everywhere. Bars, restaurants, sporting venues, everything.
I'm not interested in all that, though. I hate the traffic. Like, what you have to go through to get there and out of a game is absolutely atrocious. Absolutely atrocious.
That's true. I've been to a lot of them.
I mean,
and you want to know how hard it was to get out of the Cowboys Stadium? Like, nothing, right?
Nothing.
You walk out, you hop in your car, and you're gone. That's it. I would love that when it comes to a sport.
Yeah, that's.
But there's not. I mean,
for me at least, that's way down on the list as far as what I care about.
There's nothing else around that Cowboy Stadium, which makes it a great place.
I'm all about that. Like, if I'm going to a game, I'm going to the game. I'm not there to hang out in the.
Dude, I love downtown Denver. I've been to. There was a while ago, and I can't remember how it worked out exactly, but it was like, if I remember right, like the Rockies, the Broncos, and the Nuggets were all playing on the same day in Denver.
That'd be atrocious.
Oh, it was amazing because we went to the Broncos game. I caught the end of the Rockies game, and we still went out and bar hopped and went to a restaurant afterwards. It was a great day.
And that sounds like a great experience for you. But anybody who's just trying to get up there, go to a game, and go home, it's a lousy experience.
For a 20-year-old, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, but for them, in my opinion, probably the majority of people who are just going up there to go to a game and then leave, it's not fun at all. Matter of fact, that's the biggest like detractor to me. I'm like, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not going to the traffic. I'm not waiting in the lines. I'm not doing any of this stuff. For me, anyways, I'm not doing it. I just don't want to put up with it.
Yeah, I guess that's really low on my list of what a fan experience involves.
But everybody's a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to discount what you're
my
saying.
dad has never gone to a sporting event and not left early except for one, and that was the Tebow game against Pittsburgh.
I mean, I guess I'm used to also like going out to Lincoln for a game for the Huskers, like the stadium, and it's like 100-yard vicinity becomes the third largest city in the state. Like 300,000 people go on to downtown Lincoln.
You guys got the room for it.
No, I've never been to a worse. Trying to get out of that stadium and away to your car is 1,000 times worse than a Broncos game. So I guess growing up with that and being used to that.
That's why, because you have a bunch of 2-lane roads.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's an infrastructure problem.
Yeah, there's a huge infrastructure problem. But when you're used to that, I guess that is minimal on the overall what the other fan experience involves. So that's where I come from.
I've gone back and forth at least with the Broncos stadium. A couple people were posting about it. One guy was posting something about, these guys are a bunch of pussies. They don't want to play in cold weather or whatever. Why are we talking about building a dome? I'm like, I want a dome because I want to host the Super Bowl. I want people to want to come here. Like, if it's nice out, like a lot of times it is nice in Colorado and you got 60-degree weather, you can have a retractable roof. And you don't have to be open to the elements.
I'm a little bit old school in the fact that if you play in a city where there could be weather, then you deal with the weather. You don't put in a dome to avoid it. That's part of the game.
I kind of feel that too. I mean, because
I also think it's a joke that the Super Bowl isn't held in certain areas just because it could be cold. I think that's a joke. The game's not played that way all year. Why all of a sudden? And I get it. You want to have optimal conditions to see the best product. Some of the best games have been in cold weather, and they've been high scoring. So I don't want to hear this cold weather ruins the game kind of thing. Fans will still show up. Maybe not the ones that are willing to pay $30,000 for a ticket. Maybe you'd finally get real fans.
I don't
up
want
to the
my
game.
Super Bowl in like negative degrees, like it could be in Green Bay or
Why?
something like that. Like I don't want that.
Why?
I don't.
Why?
Because I want them. I want both. So one of the biggest games ever. I feel so bad for the team. San Diego Chargers. They play one of the longest games in Miami in humidity. The following week, they travel to Cincinnati and play in one of the coldest games of all time. That game should not have been played. Those teams it's a complete disadvantage.
Why?
Period.
You act like everybody in Cincinnati playing on that team grew up in Cincinnati and they're acclimated to the weather. They're not. Most of those dudes live in the offseason in a warm weather climate.
When you practice in the cold, you deal with the cold.
Bill Belichick is the only one that makes his players practice in the cold. Everybody else is playing and practicing in their indoor practice facility. How many bad games have you seen in cold weather? Few and far between.
How many have I seen?
In general, in the NFL. Just because it's cold doesn't mean you see a bad game. In fact, a lot of times they're good games.
It's a rare occurrence, but there are situations where that weather does not give us the best football game.
The only weather that I am against in that situation is wind. That's it.
Well, yeah, that's weather then.
Right, but I'm saying that would be the only one that would make me rethink.
That
would be the only one that would make me slightly rethink my position.
Yeah.
Cold doesn't, snow doesn't, rain doesn't.
Right.
You've had Super Bowls where it was a torrential downpour in Miami and the game was awful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you obviously remember the Bills and the Patriots. Dude, if that was the Super Bowl, that type of scenario, right, where they go throw one pass, that's garbage. Absolute garbage. And like that would just piss me off.
And that could happen.
If I had to watch that. That would just piss me off.
So could hurricane force winds and torrential downpour. Unless you're going to make it only dome, which means Miami doesn't get the Super Bowl anymore. You know what I mean? If you're going to say just dome stadiums get it, okay, fine.
February is not hurricane season and
can still be
Florida.
Rain, and it's happened in the Super Bowl.
It can be
so
rain,
I don't want to hear this weather
season,
bullshit.
So it's a whole different thing. I would rather have it be clean and we have both teams out there and there's no advantage for either team.
I agree. I'm with that. I'm all about it. I got no issues with that because I do believe weather is an advantage, just like how our elevation is an advantage. You know, we practice.
Now, again, when you were talking about AFC, NFC, and the whole point of being as good as you can be to get that number one seed so you have people coming to your house, I agree with that. But once you get to the Super Bowl, you got the best two teams from both conferences. It should be a complete fair match. There should not be an advantage to either team.
Yeah, I'm with that. I'm fine. I'm kind of fine with the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, well, they don't schedule it in cold. The only time they did it was 2013. They put it in New York, and then they were like, yeah, we're not doing that again.
It had nothing to do with the game or the weather. It was the fan experience.
Absolutely was.
No, it was the fan experience.
Unfortunately, it worked out that Peyton Manning, who couldn't hold on to a football when he was in cold weather or throw a football accurately in cold weather, played in that Super Bowl. Now, again, they still get their ass kicked if it's sunny, but it's not that bad. They got a really bad product from that Super Bowl.
Well, it is what it is.
Look, if you're going to build, Bills aren't. That's going to be an open air stadium.
They're talking about putting a roof on it.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
They've already said it's going to be an open air stadium. Go look it up. No retractable roof or nothing. Open air stadium. That's what they're building with $1.4 billion.
That sounds.
How do you even spend that much money on an open air stadium?
No, but they're going to do it. Cost
no.
of labor in New York with them unions and stuff apparently is going to, jack that up real quick. But if Chiefs were smart, they'd build a retractable dome. If Denver was smart, they'd go out east. They'd do the same thing because then you have a chance to host a Super Bowl.
Do you want to know what my argument is against the dome in Kansas? Wind and tornadoes. I'm looking at it from a
Not
pure...
in February.
Huh?
Not in February.
That stadium is there.
Actually, yes,
off
in
time
February.
as well.
Not in February.
No, I
it's
don't.
not tornado season in February.
But
I don't care about during the season. I'm talking about if a bad storm goes through that area in the off season.
Then you lose. Yeah.
Yeah, then you're replacing like $500 million worth of structure for something that probably didn't have to be there to begin with. You know what I mean? So that's how I would be looking at it from a more of a mitigation standpoint. But I don't think they put a lot of that into consideration.
Andy Pinky would never be able to touch me. I'd run circles around that until you were too tired to do anything,
I would
buddy.
clothesline the shit out
You
of
would
you.
never get close. Never get close, my man. Bob and weave until the last 30 seconds of that fifth round and drop you.
I'm quick in a phone booth, man.
What's the
That ain't no phone booth, my man.
There's
You would
not a lot of
never
space in this room. I'm just
you would never be within arm's distance of me, I promise you.
Cody's first question? What's the betting line? All right. Well, let's move on, man, because we still got a few things to talk about here. Let's now that we're talking about some NFL. What do you guys think of the Tyreek Hill trade?
Oh man, I love it for the Dolphins.
I think it's good for both teams.
Well, here's the thing. If I'm the Dolphins GM, I'm looking at that going, I got to give him a new contract. Devontae Adams just went for a 1 and a 2. Done. That's all I'm giving you. That's it.
They got more than that.
They gave up 5 picks. I know. I'm talking the Dolphins GM did a dumb thing by giving up 5 picks for him.
Yeah, that's pretty stupid.
Maybe.
Wait. Did they get a minority head coach so they had an extra pick?
Yes.
I don't think they get that till next year, though.
Boom.
They don't get that till next year.
But
cost them 4
they
picks.
gave that pick up to help get Tyreek. But it wasn't. They gave up what, a first, a second, 2 fourths, and a fifth.
Look at that big brain.
Yeah, I think so.
It wasn't like a huge loss there. All things considered. And if Miami thinks that Tua can be the guy now with weapons, those are all back end picks.
There's no excuses for Tua this season.
No, absolutely not.
They've got him some O-line help. They got him Tyreek. They got him Chase Edmonds. They got him who's the other receiver they got him? I was thinking Christian Kirk. He's in Florida, but
that's
not
the Jags.
He's the Jags, yeah. They got Mike Gesicki back. Like, there's no excuses for Tua at all.
Cody, you're wrong. People keep talking about Tua not being able to throw a deep ball. I think they're forgetting his natty game-winning throw. He bombed it like
That's
60 yards in the air to Devontae Smith for the win. Yes, on a dime. What do you mean no? Like, you're telling me that didn't happen? Does it happen?
No, that was like a 30-yard pass. That wasn't 60.
Go look it up right now. He was behind the 50, Pinky.
It's not 60.
Yes, it was.
It was not.
Go look it up. SP, pull it up.
Well, let's see. I'm trying to see this because they said he had a 65-yard touchdown throw to Mac Hollins, but I assume you want to know how many yards in the air.
Go look up the national championship throw he did against Georgia 4 years ago. 4 years ago, 3 years ago. Somewhere in there. It was a 60-yard dime to Devontae Smith, I'm pretty sure. He was behind the 50.
It's not. He was on the.
You don't even watch college football. How can you say?
I was watching that game.
Who was it against?
It's against Georgia. You just said.
Okay, well, so you're paying attention.
And
Good
Georgia
job.
was winning.
He was on the 52.
The ball was on. Wait, there's no such thing as a 52.
Yeah, it can't be 52.
It was 52
40,
yard.
40. I was adding 2 to the 50. My bad. Yeah, 48.
So it was a 52-yard pass on a dime.
Or was it 48?
No, he's on the 48. And it landed on the 2. So it was a 46-yard pass.
Yeah, it's not a 60.
He didn't throw it from his 48, right?
No, from his 48.
Right. So he was behind the 50.
No. Wait, no, on their 48.
On their 48, it'd be a 46-yard pass. So
Yeah,
not 60.
and he threw it to the 2-yard.
I know it was a decent amount, but it wasn't like a 60-yard bomb.
Yeah, because the guy's number 6, right?
Yeah, it's
When he threw it
Devontae
to?
Smith.
Yeah, that's what it was. 46-yard pass.
Boom.
On a dime.
It was.
It was beautiful.
And
he came
he
in
had
relief.
plenty of arm left.
Jalen
for that.
Hurts-
It's not like he didn't have enough arm to do it.
They
farther.
pulled Jalen Hurts and they put 2 in.
So he's going to be just fine throwing the deep ball to Tyreek Hill.
Throwing the deep ball to Tyreek Hill is not the issue. The reason why Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes are so successful is Patrick Mahomes would be running for his life. He'd retreat 15 to 20 yards, and then he would just magically throw the ball 70 yards to Tyreek.
Yeah,
And
hovering.
he'd be there.
Hovering 4 inches off the ground.
That's what was it. Tua's not going to be able to do that.
I
still think it's good for Tyreek.
Okay, here's
good for Tua.
I'm looking at it as completely different. I'm not looking at it as like Tyreek having to be that deep threat. I'm looking at it as him to spread defenses so far apart that everybody has a huge
So
option.
this is why Tua is going to be really good with Tyreek.
Sure. I agree.
No, this is why. Because I've been telling you from the jump, Tua is very accurate. All you got to do is get the ball in Tyreek's hand. 10 to 15 yard in, out, it doesn't matter. Tua can deliver that with ease. And the question is going to be, can Tyreek stay on schedule with his route for Tua to get him the ball in that situation? Because like you said, Pinky, a lot of Tyreek's danger when he was playing with Mahomes was from Mahomes scrambling and going off play. So it's going to be a completely different scenario for Tyreek now in Miami than it was for him in Kansas City. I don't think they'll have a problem throwing the deep ball if they want to. I don't think Tua's going to have a problem getting the ball to him. It's how good of a route runner is Tyreek now? Because it's not going to be off schedule anymore. That's just not going to happen because Tua's not much of a scrambler. He can dance around a little bit, but that's not what he's known for like Mahomes is.
Yeah, well, that's not going to be their offensive plan. Like I said, I think it's going to be for them to spread it out because like him and Waddle connected really well.
Yes.
Yep.
So now that they have these additional
But they played in college. People, you got to remember that. They played 2 years in college.
Yeah,
together.
absolutely. I mean, yeah, it was no different than what was going on with Burrow. So, but for them to really be able to spread the ball around, I think that's what's going to help Tua a lot.
Well, you got two of the fastest receivers in the game right now playing opposite of each other. That's going to be, you're not double teaming one of them.
Yeah, and they're both they're phenomenal route runners too.
Yeah.
So I think he has every reason to be successful, and if he doesn't, then it just shows how useless.
And he's going to have a coach who actually likes him, or at least pretends to. Unlike Flores,
then the Dolphins fans have to watch Teddy Bridgewater.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. I'm rooting for you too.
But let's see.
Wait. When has Tua ever shown that he would get pulled for Teddy?
If you watch Teddy,
he's never looked that bad.
If you watch Teddy Bridgewater's press conference, because he had a press conference, they asked him if he was brought in to be the backup and help teach Tua. And he goes, "It's a special opportunity and I'm here to play."
What's Teddy gonna say? Yes?
If you've been told what your role is, absolutely.
What's he going? He's not going to go into that press conference and be like, "I'm here to be a backup. That's it."
Listen, if that's what Bridgewater said, he got coached worse than Deshaun Watson.
That's exactly what he says. I got paid money to come in and back up and be ready to play if needed.
Oh,
that's all he has to say. Yeah. He didn't say that. He said it's a special opportunity.
Because Teddy's got an ego on him where he thinks he's an actual like top 15 quarterback in the league.
Oh, yeah, Teddy's kind of stupid. Yeah. So, anyways,
let's be honest. Drew Lock should have been playing over Teddy. Because at least Drew Lock gave you a chance to go downfield.
Correct.
The fact that the coaching staff that was here decided to play conservative, and that's why Teddy was the starter, gave Teddy an even bigger ego. Teddy's the backup. Teddy is not better than Tua.
I agree with you. I'm just saying I listened to his press conference.
I get it.
He didn't talk like he's a backup.
Of course.
Listen,
Andy Dalton didn't talk like a backup, Pinky. But he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows he's a backup.
Right.
I think he just signed with the Bucs too.
So, anyways, we already kind of touched on Tua and Waddle. I mean, that kind of I think it's fair to say Tua's obviously his value goes up a lot. I think Tyreek's drops, and I think Waddle's goes up.
Yes. I still think Tyreek is going to be good, especially in fantasy. I just don't think he's going to be as good.
He's going to be fine. He's going to have those Tyler Lockett plays. You know what I mean? Where he just busts one out for 60, 70 yards, but he's not going to go out there and he's not catching 8, 9 passes. That's still going to be Waddle. And
yeah, I agree.
Because you put people where they're a threat, right? And he has to pull safety coverage, one man up. Like, I mean, it's a mess.
Waddle and Gesicki are going to be eaten.
Fantasy-wise, I could honestly see Waddle being top 20 wide receiver and Tyreek being outside the top 20. Just because of the nature of how they'll roll.
They're both top 20.
They could be. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me if Tyreek was just outside and Waddle was in. It wouldn't surprise me.
I can kind of see that. Yeah. But I do think Gesicki is definitely like a top 10 tight end if this keeps up. Because anybody who even tries to defend that wide receiver core, he's open all day.
You can't double anybody now.
No. It became the same situation as the Chiefs. You know what I mean?
You could double Kelce,
the playmaker, and adding an offensive line.
You could, but that's the thing is you could double Kelce or Tyreek because nobody was scared of anybody else they had. Pringle, Hardman, doesn't matter. Nobody was scared of that.
Yeah.
So you could double one of those two. You're not going to do that, like you said in Miami now, because you're not going to double Waddle and leave one-on-one with Tyreek. You're not going to double Tyreek and leave one-on-one with Waddle, and then Gesicki can just seam it all day long, you're screwed.
Now, if they can manage to get a good run game going, honestly, it's going to remind me a lot of the Cowboys offense.
Chase Edmonds I think people are going to undervalue him, and I think he's going to have a breakout year.
He could. I mean, because those receivers are going to be so dangerous that they can't stack the box, that's for sure. So he's going to have more opportunity for big runs.
He's going to have to stay healthy. He's had a little bit of a issue staying on the field, but if he can stay on the field, I think he has a big year this year.
Yeah. Should be interesting. Miami might roll. Who knows? Anyways, I guess Tom Brady is coming back.
So I've been watching Man in the Arena, which is on Hulu and ESPN Plus. I really like Tom Brady. I really do. That hurts me to say. I hated him for so long. But watching that show, watching him with the Bucks, watching his Twitter game, and
he's a master at his craft.
He's really good.
I don't think the Bucks are going to win the Super Bowl.
I think they got a good shot, man. They have a good shot of being in the Super Bowl. I don't know if they would win it, but they have a good shot of being in it.
I don't even think they have a good shot of being in it, to be honest.
Who are you taking in the NFC?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they win the Super Bowl, but they do have a shot to get there.
You taking the Rams?
Green Bay, Rams don't have really a whole lot left at this point.
So you taking?
Right now, it looks like Rams bring everybody back just like the Bucks did.
Well, if that is the case,
look, I see it as it's kind of a 3-team race: Rams, Bucks, and then possibly Packers, depending on what they do at wide receiver.
I don't know.
I honestly think if Trey Lance starts and he's what they were hoping they were,
no,
San Francisco's the favorite.
Nope.
What do you mean, nope? Why?
That guy, if he starts, I think they'll still play well. I think they'll still win some games. They're not getting to the Super Bowl.
Why? You're saying he's going to play worse than Jimmy?
I mean, Jimmy's consistent.
I mean, he's consistently not great.
I mean, he's not going to. Jimmy doesn't win you a lot of games, but he doesn't make a lot of. He makes some mistakes. I don't see Trey Lance coming in. I see him coming in and making some mistakes that'll lose you some games.
Well, I don't know.
Jimmy doesn't normally win you games. Your offense and your running game does, but I don't. I see Trey Lance making some big plays here and there.
If he can be better than Jimmy, that means their team is.
I don't think he can be better than Jimmy next season.
Why though?
I just don't.
But
why? I'm a Trey Lance guy. I believe
why?
in Trey Lance.
Like you don't have a reason other than just because
he needs time. If he was that damn good, he'd been playing last year.
Why? He was a rookie. He hadn't played in
how much
18 months.
How much did they invest in him? They invested a shit ton for him.
Okay.
They needed him to play, and he didn't.
I think it's because they got, in my opinion, they got stuck, right? Oh, we're doing good enough with this guy. Making a change right now could be a bad move. And I think just that gambling aspect is what they didn't want to do. I think if they were losing, Trey would have been in there. And
I believe in Trey Lance in the long run. I just don't think next season like he would take them to the Super Bowl. I don't. I mean, playoffs, sure.
Again, my comment was if he plays better than Jimmy, which is what they expect out of him next year, then why wouldn't they be a Super Bowl favorite?
I don't think he'll play better than Jimmy.
Okay, but if he does, then what?
Sure.
I don't see why
I don't think they're better than the Bucks or the Rams, even if he does play well. Well, they got lucky they even made it to the championship game. I mean, the Packers should have played in that championship game.
I think they got lucky because they played the Cowboys. Is that what you're saying, Pinky? Huh?
No, they were a bad matchup for the Cowboys.
They're a bad matchup for everybody. I mean, that was the kicker.
I think they have a chance to win just about any game they play, the 49ers. I think they're good enough on offense and defense for that to be the case. I wouldn't consider them a front runner by any means, but I think they are one of those.
They're like that next tier.
Yeah.
Like if they make the playoffs, cool. Even with Lance, if they make the playoffs, cool. I just don't put them in that conversation of I think they're going to be like.
I would have argued that they were actually a better team than the Bengals last season.
They were.
Yeah. And so that's why I'm saying it's like, well, with Garoppolo, they're a better team than them. I don't know. That kind of puts them at least in the conversation. The problem is the NFC was way more stacked. But that's going to change drastically this season. They should just actually have two AFC teams play in the Super Bowl because
I actually think Jimmy is still on the roster on day one. Trey Lance starts and they are a better team.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's all we can see. But we need to start moving along here because we're already at 2 hours. So,
Man, we just love this podcasting thing, don't we?
all right, pick some stuff here because I guess in regards to the draft.
So it's draft season.
Yep.
And
We should wait on talking draft. We're still a month out.
this is no, we're less than a month.
Three and a half weeks.
We're less than a month.
That's less than a month. Yeah.
Less than a month.
He's got a countdown
Hold on.
timer.
We're gonna do some more draft things. We're talking about maybe doing a side draft show.
I think we've.
I just
done
wanted to
enough.
say the one thing that's very interesting, and it's the first time in history, like 7 or 8 teams have multiple picks in the first round.
That's why I said I think we should wait talking about it because I don't think that's going to be the case when the draft actually comes.
There's going to be some movement, huh? I wouldn't be
with
surprised.
the way players are, with the way the NFL is finally allowing themselves to trade players, which was unheard of 10 years ago.
Yeah.
The way it's happening now, I don't think that's going to be even close to the case by the time the draft rolls
Dude,
around.
people are going to go start snatching up coaches, getting that extra pick. You know what I mean? They're
John
gonna really-
Gruden style with the Bucks. Yeah, I don't think it's worth talking about yet because we're so far away from it happening. I think there's going to be still a lot of movement, and there's still going to be some guys on different teams. Picks are going to be gone. I just think there's going to be things that happen where that's not going to end up being the case, especially in this draft class where a lot of people are saying it's light on talent, except for a few positions.
Oh, they say, well, defensive line, offensive line,
And wide receiver.
wide receiver.
Everything else, by all accounts, is thin. So people are willing to move those picks for proven talent right now, which is something the NFL hasn't been known to do, but they are doing it now.
And that makes a lot of sense. All I know is there's going to be a lot of coaches with name changes, land some of those sweet jobs. You know what I mean?
There's only 32 of them. There's only 32 of them.
I'm just saying.
Owner's new interview question. Are you willing to change your last name for a draft pick?
Right.
Are you 25% Cherokee?
Right. They're going to be doing DNA tests. They're
Was
not looking-
college paid for you by the government?
Right. They're not going to do resumes anymore. They're just doing DNA tests. What a sad world this is coming to, man.
These guys.
Sad world.
Look, I think if you want to start draft talk, we can start next week and devote time instead of talking players and teams and stuff. We can
Let's do
start.
it. Hey,
we can start.
We
getting
covered a
into
lot of
draft.
stuff this episode. We went through a fair bit. I was a little skeptical. I'm like, we're not going to talk about half of this, but hey, you guys did it. Really proud of you. You agreed on more stuff tonight than I think you guys have ever had in the past. So
Cheers, Pinky.
yeah, you guys are making strides, regardless of Andrew. But yeah, I don't know. I don't got anything else pressing.
Still think I'm minus 100 on that fight.
It depends how small the ring is.
Yeah.
Even if it's small, Pinky, I love you, man, but I'm just going. Your knee's done, buddy.
He could take his own knee out if he moves the wrong way. you don't even need to be involved.
Look, I'm not saying I got huge odds, but I think you're plus 100, me minus 100. I think that's probably fair.
I mean, draft books might even give you a little boost on that. So yeah, it'd be worth it. Anyways, anything else?
If
fellas?
you catch me, it could be issues for me. I just with the amount of injuries you've already disclosed and the fact that you're talking about your balance not being there, and I just saying, man, I'm sneaky.
Let's work on that ground game. Anyways, anything else?
Mm.
All right.
This guy with some elbows. All right. We're good.
All right, wrap us up.
As always, love hanging out with you fellas. We'll do it again next week. Go spend time with your loved ones, friends, family. Enjoy your sports. Go have some nonsense built in there. We're out.
All right. Peace.